Doge and its leader Elon Musk in court as illegal and out of control. Musk is pushing that we send Americans checks, Doge dividends. President Trump says,
I love it. A 20% dividend, so to speak, for the money that we're saving.
America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What happens once all of this is done? You've got a sunny sky, and it's 6 degrees on Monument Circle. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:02. Relief from the snow and bitterly cold temperatures in Indiana is coming. Andrew White is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis, and he believes after today the state will be done with snow for a while.
Yeah, at this point, it looks like this may be it until at least early March.
Along with that, he expects temperatures to be in the 50s at times next week. Much of the state is under a winter weather advisory until 7 tonight. You can see a full list of closings and delays at WIBC.com. A state trooper's car was hit by someone else on Wednesday night in Indianapolis while going too fast when the roads were icy. That's according to State Police Sergeant John Perrine.
Yeah, thankfully both the trooper and the other person that was in his car are both okay. They were checked by medics, and they're a little sore, but they're okay.
He says it's important to remember that you could face criminal charges for driving too fast and hitting police, firefighters, or construction workers. County jails in Indiana are no longer getting payments from the Indiana Department of Corrections for holding state prisoners and low-level felons. The IDOC says they've exhausted their funding for fiscal year 2025, and they're working with the state budget agency to figure out options. 4 dogs died in a fire on Indy's near West Side Wednesday night. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Calls started coming into the 911 center shortly after 5:30.
Hello? Miss Daddy, come on. Miss Daddy, the house is on fire next door. You need to come out.
Audio released by the Indianapolis Fire Department from a neighborhood not far from North Belmont Avenue and West Vermont Street.
You have people in, but you don't think there are any humans inside, or correct? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he left out. Okay.
Emergency personnel tried to revive the dogs, but to no avail. IFD is looking into this. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And with a record of 30-23, the Indiana Pacers are back in action tonight to face the Memphis Grizzlies. It's the final time these two teams play each other in the regular season. Tip off at 7 this evening. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. And with traffic now at 9:04, here's Matt Bear.
Bound 70. Eastbound 70 out by the airport. That is a crash at the airport collector blocking the right lane. And then stop-and-go traffic resumes after the 465 ramps past Sam Jones Expressway to Minnesota Street. Northbound 465 stop-and-go on the west side. Sam Jones Expressway up to Washington. Eastbound 70 stop-and-go traffic after Belmont to west. And then northbound 465 on the northwest side slows 86th Street up to 865. Crash on the north side. Eastbound 465 after Keystone on the outside shoulder. Westbound 70 jammed well before State Road 9 for several miles, so this delay is going to run before the Greenfield rest area to State Road 9. Then we slow again on westbound 70 after Mount Comfort Road. Traffic sponsored by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver Report and Precious Metals IRA Guide at BetterNestEgg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Matt Bear on the 5s at WIBC Traffic.
You wake up feeling like you just boxed 12 rounds. Some wake up sweating with sore jaws, headaches, and a lot of our patients complain of brain fog. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula, and these signs, often joined with snoring, are sleep apnea symptoms. And if this sounds like you may have been in a struggle last night between you and this serious disorder. Many people aren't willing to fight back. But the fact is, you can't go through these nightly struggles without ramifications that each night chip away at your life's expiration date. I get it. You don't want to wear a CPAP mask. You may find out you don't need one. We have every effective sleep apnea solution available. And believe me, the mask is the last resort.
It's time to take action to stop your sleep struggle. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live well. Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
And the forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Some morning flurries, bitter cold, and some slick roads for the morning drive. Later, highs in the low 20s with cloudy skies. Mostly cloudy, quiet tonight, a low down to 11. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
And I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. Now time for Kendall and Casey.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Hey, good morning. It is Thursday, February 20th, 7 minutes after 9. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So Governor Mike Braun, guess what? He has some concerns about Senate Bill 1. We've talked about this. Senate Bill 1, as you know, because you listen to this #1 rated radio program, focuses on property taxes. In a post on X, he said the bill still needs work before he signs it. And then yesterday afternoon, Wish TV posted a quote from him in which he said, if property tax plan doesn't improve, I'm inclined to veto it and call a special session.
We spoke that into existence. You realize that, right? Like we spoke that thing into existence. We came on here and said, hey, if I were Braun, I'd just say that I would not only veto the bill, I'd keep calling a special session until they fix the bill. And what do you know? Now that's, I guess, the official talking point of the Braun administration. Gosh darn it, we are better than we could ever even dreamed, Casey.
So he could just call a special session. They could go in there, do nothing, leave, and he could just keep repeating the process. Though.
No, it doesn't matter why he's doing it. The fact is he's doing it, and it's absolutely the right thing to say. And when I had originally said it, I had said that because I said if there's one thing these guys in the General Assembly hate to do is work.
Yeah.
So the biggest threat you have over these guys is making them come back to work. And I'll be darned if that's not now his official position, which is great. It needs to be. Look, Braun is doing all the things that a governor needs to do in terms of leading, which is telling these guys directly, you have thus far failed. The bill you have produced is not satisfactory. It does not meet the goals or the requirements that I have laid forth as the CEO of this state, which is to provide meaningful property tax reform to the citizens. And you're not getting out of here with some half-assed effort that doesn't actually help people. Holcomb is not in charge anymore. Braun is the guy from the Tom Hanks movie. You see me? I am the captain of this ship now, and Braun is putting these people in their place, and good on him.
So not only did he say that to Wish TV, he also said that in an interview with WTHI and Terre Haute. So he's repeating these talking points. It's not just a one time that he said it. It's been multiple times.
And it's a new day in our state where you have the chief executive who is actually on the side of the taxpayers. I mean, we went 8 years with a guy running the state who could absolutely care less about the taxpayers. He cared about his cronyism. He cared about his big business buddies. He cared about growing government. He cared about big, unaccountable government. And now we have a guy in there in Braun who is actually putting the taxpayers first. And it's working. It is working. You have seen how the people have rallied behind this cause. Now, big part of this is the show. Obviously, it started here. The movement started here many years ago. But now you have a guy who can be the face of this thing, who is saying, I'm with you, I hear you, and I'm not just signing some bill just because the legislature puts it in front of me.
Okay, let's talk about something that's been happening when Jason Hammer joins us. He comes in every day at 10:45, and for the past few days, we've been doing this little segment called Callin' Lion Dudes. Callin' Lion Guys.
So this emanated out of we were getting these responses from you, our listeners, when you were emailing these senators with your displeasure that they gutted the property tax bill. And we saw so many of these responses where it was like, well, I would be happy to talk to you over the phone. So we said, okay, we'll try to get them on the phone. And thus far, we have while been unsuccessful getting an actual lawmaker on the phone, we have kind of put for you on full display kind of how your government operates. So the first guy we tried to call was Scott Baldwin. His legislative assistant or whoever that was that we finally got a hold of could absolutely have cared less, just wanted to get us off the phone, clearly didn't write anything down or deliver any sort of message. Then the next day, we tried to call Travis Holdman. We were on Transfer-a-Palooza, where it was 10 minutes of us getting just kicked around to various people.
Yeah.
Then we finally delivered a message and got no return phone call. And then yesterday, Colin, who was the legislative assistant for Mike Gaskell, was very nice. He said some things that were utterly ridiculous and preposterous, but he was very nice, and we had a nice
actually
little
talked to somebody, though, in the office.
a nice little back and forth.
Yeah.
And then last night, somebody reached out to me inside the State House and said, Mike Gaskell would like to have a conversation with you. Would you be willing to take his phone call? And I said, that's fine. I'm not sure where that's going to lead or how that's going to go, but I said, sure, pass along my information. And then this morning, very early, Mike Gaskell did call me. He is on the tax committee that wrote the bill, and we had a very nice, probably 10-minute conversation. And he was I felt it was a very positive conversation, and he has agreed. Actually, he requested, and I agreed, I guess would be the better way to put it, that he's going to come on the show tomorrow.
He's going to be here tomorrow. So we'll have that phone call, but it'll be in person in the studio.
Yeah, and good on him. And he said, I'd like to talk about this bill, and I'd like to talk about my thoughts on property taxes and why I voted the way I voted. And I said, that's all we can ask for. And we talked about some other things, and I thought it was very productive. And so he will be with us tomorrow at I think 9:30. He's going to come on with us, and we're going to talk all about property taxes and property tax reform and this bill. But my point in all of this is it's working.
Yeah.
Right? You may not see it in terms of a bill yet that helps you, but this was always going to be a long slog. It was always going to be very involved, and it was always going to be, as we told you, about having to rattle a lot of cages and, quite frankly, shake up a lot of these lawmakers and motivate them to move on your behalf. And that's happening.
Did you see what Todd Rokita had posted yesterday? We've been getting a lot of comments saying, Rob, we need you in charge of Indiana Doge,
Yes.
Indiana Doge.
Does Rokita want me to run Indiana Doge?
I don't think he does.
Did he post something about me running Indiana
not
Doge?
Not you, but he posted something where they had passed some legislation, which he said that his office will help save over $500,000 per year, and it was simply from removing some outdated publishing requirements for printed notices, and instead of doing that, they're going to go electronically, and that will save Indiana $500,000. But he did have a nice little logo there, so it seems to me he would like the state to move in that direction as well.
So here's the deal. So it's a $46.5 billion proposed budget. That's massive for a state of 7 million people.
So you're saying, well, $500,000, that's a little tiny bit.
That's great, but here's what I'm saying is, I promise you, Casey, I could find $4.6 billion. I would find 10% of the budget, but I would only do it, and this is why they would never give me this position. I would only do it if every penny was returned back to the taxpayers. We're not so Trump is proposing with the Elon Musk Doge thing, or Musk has proposed it and Trump is open to it. Well, I want to give a $5,000 check back to every taxpayer on the money I save on Doge. That's ridiculous because that's all printed money. It's not real money. All of that money should be used to pay down our nation's debt, which is crippling at this point. And all you're going to do is just further spike inflation if you take that money and just throw printed money back at people. That's how we got in this position. State of Indiana, though, doesn't print money. It's actual money. The money that you would be saving in an Indiana Doge is real money that you could return to people. And so my condition on that would be, I would find the money, but under the condition that every single penny of it gets sent back to the taxpayers.
Yeah, well, here, Todd Rokita said that we're increasing efficiency and that will be able to put your tax dollars to better use. But here is Donald Trump talking about giving money back to the people.
There's even under consideration a new concept where we give 20% of the Doge savings to American citizens and 20% goes to paying down debt, because the numbers are incredible, Elon. So many billions of dollars, billions, hundreds of billions, and we're thinking about giving 20% back to the American citizens and 20% down to pay back debt and pay down debt.
Where's the other 60 going?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense. I mean, all that money should be used to pay down the debt because that's what it is. It's printed money, trying to just print checks and give them to people. Didn't we go through that in 2020?
Didn't we already
we already have that experiment? How did that doesn't work? But the state is a little different. So a lot of positive things, a lot of moving parts. Braun is doing an excellent job. Everybody should 100% be behind him. If you can email him or call his office, tell him to keep going. He's doing everything right so far on this in terms of fighting for you and being assertive, and that's great. That's all we can ask for.
Okay, so more from Donald Trump coming up. He called himself a king. He's playing a lot of golf, and Kid Rock storming off a stage in Nashville. That's on the way from 93 WIBC.
The currency of Washington. Politics.
They've got to stop playing politics.
Power.
He just wants power.
Posturing.
What a stupid question.
And I'm going to cut through the nonsense and let you know what is really happening in D.C. this week at CPAC 2025.
He'll talk to the newsmakers, power players, and maybe even find a little common sense.
Stranger things have happened.
Getting the answers that matter to you.
Because somebody's got to do it, and you have a life to live.
Tony Katz, live from D.C. today and tomorrow on 93 WIBC.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man. High five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Up top, Bike Shop.
Yeah. It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. If your garage floor looks bad with stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your entire garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job or chipping paint makes your garage or basement look worse. With one quick call to 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, I can save you $1,000 on a new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor during our winter sale. A Comer & Cross concrete floor coating is the gold standard. Guaranteed. A Comer & Cross garage floor won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. What's the Comer & Cross difference? We make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. And one day, you will love your gleaming, new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor just in time for spring. Call us right now for $1,000 in savings during our winter sale. Operators are standing by now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office. 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, retirement, maybe even kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you really need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. We're committed to helping protect your personal interests and the life you've built. Don't let divorce take more than it has to. Talk to us today.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Indianapolis area attorneys. 101 West Ohio Street, Suite 1250, Indianapolis, Indiana 46204.
Speed. Power. Legendary. This is May in Indy.
Start your engine.
It's passion and drama. History and tradition.
On their feet.
Victory and defeat.
He will not catch it. Joseph Newgarden goes back to back.
This is the Indy 500.
Get tickets for the 109th Indy 500 presented by Gainbridge at IMS.com.
This is May.
Get 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $119 plus a 4th room free and $75 off air duct cleaning too. Zero Res 317-388-5141.
It's okay to say you like Cat Stevens.
I do. I like this song.
You can. Cat Stevens is great. My mother loved Cat Stevens.
This is one of those times where I'm like, ooh, Kevin, turn up the music. You're looking at me oddly like you've never seen this before. Normally it's you that says, stop talking, Casey. I'm listening to the music. Stop talking, Rob. I'm listening to the song.
Cat Stevens is what did it for you?
Well,
really?
It's just one of those moods today, I guess.
Very underrated, Cat Stevens.
Isn't it Yusuf Stevens?
It's Islam. Yusuf Islam, I think is what he changed his name to.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when he goes on stage, he goes by Cat Stevens still.
Yeah, that's his birth name.
I mean, I don't think if you put a poster downtown that said, come see Yusuf Islam at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
People go, who?
Yeah, very few people would come.
Did you see Donald Trump called himself a king yesterday? This on social media.
Why is this news? Like, why are people freaking out about this?
Because that's don't people understand he is trolling them?
No, they don't understand.
They're taking him seriously.
I don't get any of this.
He posted, congestion pricing is dead, Manhattan, and all of New York is saved. Long live the king. And then there was a fake cover of Time magazine that was circling with him wearing a crown.
Okay, so let's reset what he's talking about here. So the New York had instituted this ridiculous, what it was like $15 during certain periods of the day in certain parts of New York City if you were driving, where you had to pay this $15 fee, and they called it congestion pricing. Well, then Hochul, the governor, who, by the way, she is like way underwater. Like New York could theoretically be in play coming up here if the Republicans can keep their act together. That's how bad she's doing. She came out and did some maneuver where she had some big pronunciation. It will only be $9 now. Mm-hmm. Look at all the money I'm saving you.
Right.
And so then Trump had Sean Duffy, the transportation secretary, put out some edict and send a letter to her basically like, we say, I'm simplifying this here, but he's basically saying like, this is illegal, you can't do this, and we're prohibiting you from doing this, so now your fee will be zero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, here is Kathy Hochul making that announcement.
At 1:01 p.m. today, the U.S. Department of Transportation emailed us a letter from Secretary Duffy announcing their attempt to end the congestion pricing program in the state of New York. At 1:58 p.m., President Donald Trump tweeted, "Long live the king." I'm here to say New York hasn't labored under a king in over 250 years. And we sure as hell are not going to start now.
There's like one woo in the background.
The streets of the city.
So think about what she is saying there. First of all, these people have zero sense of humor whatsoever. Mm-hmm. And they're so enraged and out of touch that she is fighting for her ability to raise your taxes. Mm-hmm. She is outraged that Donald Trump has said...
He would try and help people.
Trump is helping you. Trump is saving people money. Mm-hmm. And she is having a press conference. And she's reading the time frames as though there's been some sort of, like, country-altering event.
Or it's like a game of Clue in the kitchen with the knife. Professor Plum.
It is amazing how rattled he has made these people to where she is losing her mind. Mm-hmm. And they don't even realize how ridiculous they look over the fact that he's saving people all this money, and as though the people are really going to be on her side. Like, I don't, these people they have lost it over Donald Trump.
And the fact that he is calling himself the king just to get under their skin. It's typical Trump. He's just doing it on purpose just to aggravate him even more. And it's working. So he was at the Federal Investment Initiative Institute last night, and he was speaking, and he was saying that the United States is back and open for business.
I come today with a simple message for business leaders from all across the nation and all around the world. If you want to build the future, push boundaries, unleash breakthroughs, transform industries, and make a fortune, because you want to make a fortune. Most of you have already made a fortune. I don't want to say that. There's no better place on earth than the current and future United States of America under a certain president named Donald J. Trump. I think that you're going to do very well.
He can't help but brag on himself. So people are complaining now that he has gone golfing 7 out of the past 29 days.
That's what is that? That's 1 every 4 days, basically.
It's like
Yes,
on the weekends.
I'm doing public school math here. Now, did these same people complain because Biden took the record number of vacation days? I don't think Trump's taking vacation days. I think he just like plays golf at his course and he meets with people while he plays golf.
It's like a business meeting for him.
Are people, and in a weird way, it's probably much cheaper than what Biden was doing because that's where he lives. So the security and whatever is already all in place. Were those same people outraged at all the vacation Delaware beach house days that Biden took?
Right. So the fact that he has golfed in his first month, he's still done more than Biden did in 4 years.
And look, in order to get better at golf, you can't just play 1 every 4 days. You got to go day after day on this. So he's not getting any better by playing once every 4 days.
And is he napping at 4 p.m. and like no meetings after 8 p.m.? No, you wake up in the middle of the night, Trump has done something.
Hey, we have a big announcement here, Casey. As you know, yesterday was Kurt Darling's last day with us. By the way, where are we with the fact that Kurt Darling just took half the cake home with him? He just took half the cake. Like I came in to say goodbye, and he just took half the cake with him.
It was his cake.
Well, but we had kind of left it for the office,
him.
right? Like maybe Hammer and Nigel wanted a piece of cake or something.
Sure, it wasn't available
He
to
took
them.
half the cake home with him.
Right, he did.
But the point is, we have a new, well, he's not new to the radio station. He's technically much higher than you and I on the authority scale.
Well, that's not hard to do.
He's the news director.
Sure.
John Herrick is the new news guy. So, John, are you ready for this jelly, buddy? Are you ready for this
I sure
insanity?
am. Oh, yeah.
John Herrick, he's a man of great esteem, and he's next with the news.
It's 93 WIBC.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
Big Joe here for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical.
Coming home to a cold house in the dead of winter isn't just inconvenient, it's expensive. For over 60 years, thousands of Hoosiers have trusted B&W to catch their problems early and keep their families warm and safe. Call 317-214-0108 or go to bplusw.com for fast, reliable service today.
That's 317-214-0108. B&W, your American Standard dealer since 1961.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A day to bundle up. Mostly sunny and 7 degrees in the Circle City with a high of 21 this afternoon. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Snow fell in Indiana while most people were sleeping.
Yeah, we really just want people to be careful this morning. There's already been quite a few accidents with the slick roads. So even though the snowfall has stopped, with how cold it is, any of that snow that melted has refrozen, leading to some slick conditions out there.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service says this should be the last day of snow in Indiana for a while. He expects it to warm up next week. The U.S. will be deporting at least 135 migrants to Costa Rica this afternoon. The flight from San Diego will be carrying mostly migrants from China, Afghanistan, India, and Pakistan, including dozens of minors and 2 pregnant women. The migrants will officially be sent back to their home countries on flights paid for by the U.S. A pharaoh's tomb has been discovered for the first time in more than a century. Egyptologists announced this week that they have found the tomb of Thutmose II, the last undiscovered royal tomb of the 18th Egyptian dynasty dating to the 15th century BC. And your live Opening Bell Report on 93 WIBC is brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. So far, the Dow is down 165 points to 44,461. The S&P 500 is down 13 points to 6,130. And the NASDAQ is down 28 points to 20,028. S&P 500 down 13 points, that is. I'm Sean Herrick on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory on West Minnesota Street. The best dealers in the region, hundreds of tables, just $6 for adults, kids 12 and under free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade this Saturday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory. For more info, visit centralindianagunshows.com.
Hey, it's JMV with the scoop on how you can attend one of my favorite sporting events, the NFL Combine, for free. Get inside Lucas Oil Stadium to see future NFL stars up close at the Combine Experience. You can pass, punt, and run. And to attend for free, February the 27th through March the 2nd, just go to visitindy.com/combine to sign up for free access and parking. The NFL Combine up close with the best college players in football trying out for the NFL. February the 29th through March the 3rd, sign up for free access at visitindy.com/combine. See you there.
Don Fisher here for QC Kinetics. I want to share with you the best thing I've done for my knee pain. I've been hearing commercials about the groundbreaking treatments that QC Kinetics offers for months. Meantime, my chronic knee pain had hit an all-time high threshold. I wanted to stay active and enjoy playing golf again without the pain. So I decided to call and book an appointment. And what I found out was that QC Kinetics is the non-surgical solution. I have no knee pain and feel like I did 10 years ago. And it's all because of the non-invasive therapy from QC Kinetics.
Discover the solution to joint pain with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. For a free consultation, call 463-282-6886.
I'm back to playing golf and enjoying life. Take it from me, this is the best call you can make to relieve your orthopedic pain.
For your free consultation, call QC Kinetics today. 463-282-6886. 463-282-6886.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
What are you laughing at?
Now these Carmel City Council people are whining about us.
About what?
Our toxic rhetoric.
Oh, what's toxic?
Well, I want to say, I'm going to do a dramatic reading. I think maybe we'll do it next hour. I mean, these posts are from grown-ass men. This is a grown-ass man who made the post just whining about the idea that you might save a few dollars on your property taxes. Now, I don't know if that's because this guy, like, it's a requirement. If you're going to be on the Carmel City Council, you got to be in the Sue Finkham ass-kissing club.
Oh.
I don't know. I know that was kind of a deal with Brainerd, right? Like, everybody, if you were on the Carmel City Council for the most part, or you wanted to ascend, you had to permanently fix your lips to Brainerd's butt cheeks, and you weren't allowed to have any free thought or opinion. So I don't know if that has continued with Finkham, but maybe next hour we'll read this post from this Carmel City Councilman, and boy, I'll tell you what, these local government people and this property taxing, they are just shameless. They have no shame whatsoever.
Is it because yesterday we talked about how the Carmel City Council approved the new contracts for
with the raises?
Right, with the raises.
Right, and the days off.
And the days off, even though we were told just a week and a half before then that if you got property tax relief, they would not be able to afford to pay them.
Well, I had responded. I said, this is maybe the most stupid post I've ever seen in the history of Facebook. And then he responded something like, this is the toxic rhetoric I'm talking about. I said, well, if you want to see toxic rhetoric, get ready, pal.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
So I don't know. So if you could let me know, if you are on the Carmel City Council, is there still the ass-kissing requirement for the mayor with Sue Fingham like there was with Brainerd? Or are you guys allowed to have actual opinions and free thought now? Or is it just still, did your lips just transfer from one mayor's butt cheeks to the next? If you could just let us know. Rob at WIBC.com, or you could also call and leave a message with Kev, 239-9393.
So is today Kash Patel Day or not? So the Senate...
He's still not approved?
He's still not approved. They're expected to confirm him today, right? They're expected to vote along party lines. He's supposed to get confirmed unless...
It's the middle of February!
Unless 3 Republicans vote against him, which is considered unlikely, but you never know.
How pathetic is that? He's been president for a month now, and he still has people that are not confirmed.
Correct. Well, Kash would be, what, the last one?
Is he the last one?
One of the big last ones. Anyway.
But how can any of them not be approved? What have you guys been doing? What has the Senate been doing for the past month?
He did clear the Senate Judiciary Committee with a vote of 12-10, which was a party line vote.
Yes.
So unless 3 Republicans vote against him, he should be confirmed.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine, right? Well, even if he gets 3 that vote against him, he would still, he needs 4, right? He would need 4 Republicans because
right, to make it not happen.
That's right. You'd have a 50-50 tie.
There you go.
So he would be the FBI director, FB.
Yeah.
Be the FB director.
The head guy. Did you see the Mississippi Lieutenant Governor collapsed while he was presiding over the session?
Is he okay?
In their Senate chamber?
Is he all right?
Yes, they're saying that he's okay now, but listen to this.
These are multi-year payouts. Each of these has several more.
Dilbert.
Senator Johnson for a motion to recess. So moved. All in favor say aye. No.
So the lieutenant governor...
He finally saw how poorly Mississippi's government was run, and he couldn't take anymore.
He just passed right out. This happened live on camera, and of course, they gave him immediate medical attention. He's doing fine now, and he was making light of the situation by commenting on a recent bill indicating that he was going to be okay. But how about the guy who went up to the microphone after the lieutenant governor passed out and made the motion for recess? Like they continued with their business.
Hey, parliamentary order, right? I mean, this guy was on it. You can't just stop. You got to have a motion in a second. I'm glad he's going to be okay. He had not obtained proper fluids. Like what happened?
Well, there was some speculation that his knees locked, or
his knees locked.
Yeah. Like he just.
What is he, the Bionic Man?
He's 77 years old.
Oh, well, there's our problem. Again. What? Casey.
What? Rob.
Right? I mean, what are we doing here? Come on.
You think he's just...
look, I think I'm going to give myself until 70 seems like a nice round number. I think I'm going to give myself until 70. And whatever I haven't accomplished by 70, then I think I'm just going to go sit on a porch somewhere. Hopefully maybe with grandkids by then.
Yeah.
And just kind of live out my days having fun. I don't think I'll be,
railing against the government at 70. You'll be like,
I'll be doing it.
Yeah, you
just not like
just from under a tree with
involved.
Your bare feet in the grass, hopefully.
Although, I mean, 77. It's kind of It's a little. I mean, not like I'm not saying if you're 77, you're long in the tooth. Many people have decades of productive livelihood after 77. I'm just saying for public office, 70 seems like a nice round number where maybe we say after this, you've had your opportunity.
Yeah, you've had time to make the change that you wanted to affect. So later on social media, he did share that he was dehydrated and that he was going to be at work the next day.
That's great. See, you got to see. I was right. You got to drink proper fluids. You ever passed out?
Almost. Yeah.
Lack of fluids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very important. Blood sugar dropping.
See, there you go.
Yeah. So
Kev, you ever passed out? You've done a lot of crazy stuff.
I've never passed out.
All the crazy stuff you've done?
I used to see people pass out a lot in church.
Oh, yeah.
In church?
And I was always afraid I'd be one of those people, but it never happened.
What, do they not have air conditioning? What happened?
I think it would just get too warm in there. This was like an all-school mass.
Oh,
so there's so many people in there.
Right.
Have you ever seen anybody pass out during a wedding? Like standing up?
No.
For anybody? Oh, yeah. I've seen that a lot.
What is going on at these places you people are attending?
Yeah, it gets too warm. When I got married, the dude said, I want it so cold in the church that you could hang meat in there. Because he didn't want anybody passing out from being overheated. Kid Rock walked off stage. This was during a Nashville performance after the audience refused to clap.
Oh, like he said, screw you people. What did he want them to clap for? Did it say?
He was performing Proud Mary by CCR.
Sure.
It was at a birthday party. It was at Bon Jovi's bar, not his own bar. He was at a different bar.
So wait. So he was playing at some sort of like a private event? Like somebody hired, you can do this.
No, it was at a party for somebody, but it was open. It was at John Bon Jovi's bar.
But it was... Okay, but my point is like anybody could just walk in the bar and see this.
Well, I'm sure you had to pay a huge cover, but
Right.
yes.
Okay, but this is not like Kid Rock playing at Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Correct.
Okay,
no,
very
this
good.
is just one of
a
the
smaller venue. Okay, very good. And he had done some version of a song.
He was doing Proud Mary from CCR.
It wasn't apparently to the liking of the audience, or they just weren't paying attention, or what?
He said that he was frustrated with the crowd's lack of enthusiasm, and he told them, if you ain't gonna clap, we ain't gonna sing. And then he clapped his own hands to try to get the audience to join in.
Yeah.
They still weren't responding. So he stopped the performance. He told the audience, you ain't gonna clap, I'm gone.
Okay,
And then
so
he stormed off.
Two ways to look at this. Number one, you're paid to be there, you're paid to perform, shut up and sing, right? There's that way to look at it. I mean, you're being paid to do something.
Yeah.
Do it. But then there's also, and Kev will back me up on this as a musician, there's something admirable about the fact that he cares so much about the audience engaging in his performance, or he cares so much about his own performance that he's honked off that the audience is screwing around or doing whatever at this birthday party.
Not paying attention to him?
Rather than engaging. It's all about the music, man. So back me up on this.
You need to be able to feed off of the energy of the crowd.
Thank you. Yes, Kev's a musician. He understands this.
The crowd wasn't into it.
I'm a little and I hate this at shows where like you'll go, especially these big rockers now where people, pay all these money to go to these concerts. I hate being next to people that are, just chatting away or not engaged in the music. You came to the concert, engaged in the concert. I am more sympathetic. I am somewhat sympathetic to Kid Rock on this.
You're leaning towards Kid Rock.
You can't walk off the stage because you're paid to perform.
I don't know if he was paid to perform in this scenario.
Well, then there's another thing. If he wasn't paid for perform, if he's just there of his own volition, you don't got to do nothing.
Right. He was just mad at the crowd. They weren't paying him any attention.
Yeah, if you're there for free.
Then you got to wonder, like, okay, nice attitude, like your ego.
Yeah, like, it's because you care. What are we going to be mad? We always say these guys are just, half baked. They're going through the motions. They're just there for the money. He actually cares whether the audience is involved.
Yeah.
He's putting in effort. He's doing a cover. He's trying something different. He's trying something new. He's not just rolling through the hits. I think, now I need to know whether he was paid to be there or not. If I knew whether he was paid to be there or not, but if he was there of his own volition.
He was just there to celebrate a friend.
Team Kid Rock all the way.
Okay. I'll try and find out if he was paid to be there.
Now, was his girlfriend Bobert there? Because aren't they supposed to be a thing?
There's been rumors that those two they like each other.
Yeah, okay, very good. What are we doing next?
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. We have to talk about this new dating app, okay?
Oh,
It's
boy.
for a very special select group of people. And it's on the way from 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show will go off the rails with Rob Kendall. Ask the Gun Guy with Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. And all the top stories a little after 3, 93 WIBC.
Hey, Bill, where you been? You're overdue for a haircut.
Man, listen, my water pipes burst and flooded my house. Place a mess. I've been staying with my daughter till I can figure out what to do.
You trying to fix it and move back in?
No way. It's too big a mess. It'll cost me tens of thousands of dollars. I ain't got that kind of money.
You trying to sell it then?
Well, that's what I'd like to do, but who's going to buy my house in this condition?
Did you call Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters?
Simple Quarters bought our house when we were in a jam. We needed to move real quick. They closed fast and gave us cash.
Simple Quarters will buy in any condition?
That's right. They buy as is. You don't have to repair anything or clean anything out. It's simple.
What do I have to do?
Just call them. They'll do a quick walkthrough, then they'll make you an offer.
Simple Quarters is a local Christian company that loves to help people in difficult situations. Call Simple Quarters at 317-900-HOME. That's 317-900-HOME. Check us out at simplequarters.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them.
If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance to buy $1 million of affordable term life for you. All you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749.
It's tax time, and tax time is your time to buy a new Nissan and get double your tax refund or down payment only at Andy Moore Nissan of Indianapolis. For a limited time, when you buy any new Nissan, Andy Moore Nissan will double your tax refund or down payment up to $5,000. That means your $1,000 becomes $2,000. Your $2,000 becomes $4,000. Your $4,000 becomes $8,000. This month only, Andy Moore Nissan will double your down payment up to $10,000. Worried about your credit? Don't sweat it. Good credit, bad credit, even no credit. Our credit experts will get you approved with the best terms with as little as $0 down on any new Nissan in stock. Andy Moore Nissan is making deals other dealers won't and approving deals other dealers can't. Andy Moore Nissan, 4302 Lafayette Road, Indianapolis, Indiana.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Kendall and Casey.
I'm a young, up-and-coming professional. We are people who want to work. We want to engage. We don't want to be freeloaders. And yet, it makes it very hard for young people to actually do that.
Kendall and Casey, 9 till noon on 93 WIBC.
Do you think we're toxic rhetoric?
No.
He's still on this toxic rhetoric thing.
Really? Is that bothering you?
No, I didn't know. Are we toxic rhetoric?
I think some people would say yes, others would
What
say
do you
no.
say? You're half of this show. Are we toxic?
I think we walk right up to that line occasionally.
Really?
To make a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you missed the last segment, there's this Carmel city councilman who I did not know. See, I just thought they did this by choice, but apparently maybe there is a requirement in Carmel that if you're on the city council, you have to firmly attach both of your lips to the mayor's butt cheeks, and you're not allowed to have any free thought or think for yourself. And he went on this rant. And by the way, he's praising Scott Baldwin and what a good job Baldwin. But we got to talk about Baldwin next hour, too.
That's right.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And the loans.
Yeah. So, I responded. I said, this might, and I'll read. We'll do a dramatic reading. Maybe next hour, 11 o'clock hour, we'll do a dramatic reading of this post this guy made.
You know what? I don't even think it's that we're toxic. I think that there's just so much toxicity.
They're toxic.
Right, that we're talking about, that we come across as the people, like we're the messenger.
Yes. What you are doing to the taxpayers as elected officials is toxic.
Yeah.
And we're pissed off about it.
Yeah.
And we're calling you out for it.
It's like all these libs who are mad at Elon Musk because he's pointing out the waste, fraud, and abuse.
So don't
get mad at him.
I responded to him. I said, this may quite possibly be the most stupid post I've ever seen in the history of Facebook. And he does this. I mean, this is a grown-ass man. This is the toxic masculinity toxic rhetoric I was talking about. It's just like, you are an elected person. And you're livid over what the radio guy is mean. The radio guy is calling out this Scott Baldwin guy and what he's doing. Let's review what Scott Baldwin is doing. Scott Baldwin is a state lawmaker who runs a company who makes money off government construction projects.
Right.
And then he voted to screw millions of taxpayers to protect local entities of government that his company makes money off of because their government construction projects are done through property taxes. Oh, but we're the bad guy in the equation here. We, the people who have no power over anyone, can't make anybody listen to us, can't force anybody to listen to us. Every person who listens to us does of their own free will and volition. But somehow we're the people putting toxic rhetoric into the equation when this guy is running a company that is making money off of what local governments do and how they spend property tax dollars, and he's voting to screw people and embolden these same governments that his company is making money off of. Oh, but somehow to this Carmel City Council person, he's a hero. He's a great guy. He listens to us. And we're the bad guys in the equation, Casey. This is unbelievable.
But here's the other thing. Didn't we invite these people to come in?
We did.
And tell them, hey, we'll give it to you. Turn it over to you so you can tell your side.
Yeah, and by the way,
and then we get crickets.
We don't have any interest, Scott Baldwin, if you're not going to come on the show. We have no interest meeting with you, getting together with you.
The time for talking is over.
But you know who handled it like a man was Mike Gaskell. He asked somebody in the State House. He said, "I'd like to talk to Rob. I want to come on the show. Can I call him direct?" This person reached out to me. I said, "Absolutely, have him call me." He called. We had a great 10-minute conversation. He said, "I want to come on. I want to be a man. I want to act like an adult, and I'm going to come on this show and explain myself and how I'm voting and why to your audience." We said, "Great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We'd love to know.
Yeah, none of this. Mike Gaskell wasn't bad-mouthing me to his constituents. In fact, Mike was very nice. He said, "I listen to your show all the time. My audience, I hear from them all the time. They listen to your show. I have a lot of respect for what you guys do." He handled it the way you should handle it, not this guy Baldwin who's trying to badmouth us to constituents and then behind closed doors, "I'd like to get together." I don't want to get together with you. I'll get together with you in that chair right there, and I'll tell you exactly what questions I'm going to ask you. And it's going to start with, is it right for you to run a company that makes money off of property tax dollars from government projects, and then you vote to screw millions of people while protecting those government entities? Is that right? If you're not willing to answer that question, we've got nothing to talk about. Nothing to talk about.
And then is question number 2 going to be about the loans?
Well, next hour we'll talk about, because it turns out Scott Baldwin's company, they took quite a bit of money during the COVID crisis. And according to documentation. Now, we've asked if somebody would like to refute this, and it come from several sources, so I don't have any reason to doubt it's not accurate. Nobody has raised their hand emphatically, waving their arm saying it's not accurate. But my point in all this is somehow the radio people, Casey, always end up being the bad guy in the equation. The people with no power over anyone. Every person hearing us right now could turn the channel and we don't exist. Everybody who consumes us does, 1, because we're right, and 2, because we're entertaining. Nobody has any obligation to listen to us. And in the eyes of this Carmel City councilman or the mayor of Carmel or these lawmakers who are bad-mouthing us to constituents, somehow we're the problem in this equation.
Speaking of COVID, 5 years on, there's a new dating website. It's called Unjected.
Oh, this is for people who didn't get the vaccine.
It is. They bill themselves as the first dating platform for unvaccinated people.
Oh, wow.
Who want to date other unvaccinated people.
How exciting.
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting.
So they can have some pure blood babies, right?
They say,
is that the thing? Like, I want my kid, my blood and your blood. We don't have vaccinated blood. Is that what they're saying?
They say that their advanced algorithm delivers matches of people who are like-minded.
Oh, I see.
And hold the same convictions as them to remain unvaccinated.
Uh-huh.
And they deliver matches that are not just close, but aligned with your desires.
Yeah, I don't know about this. I mean, everybody's free to do what they want to do. But, I mean, there's a lot of people who got the vaccine because they felt forced to. They were going to lose their job. They're good people. I don't know if I would limit my dating pool just to somebody who didn't get the vaccine.
You don't have a dating pool at all anymore, so no worries for you.
Kevin?
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I got vaccinated.
Yeah, and look at you. You're fine.
Yeah.
You're perfectly normal, as far as we know.
As far as we know. You are listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Ready for spring? How about a trip to Sullivan Hardware and Garden or Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan, where you can smell that spring is in the air? Hey, Pat Sullivan here, and this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, everything is 20% off. Best pricing of the season on premium patio furniture, already pre-season priced at 30% off. You got it, take an extra 20% off. Now, this only happens once a year. All grills and accessories, 20% off. Best deal of the year on all gas, wood pellet grills, and the Big Green Egg. Everything in lawn and garden, including the Scott's 4-step annual lawn care program, 20% off. Even Benjamin Moore paint is 20% off. Visit the Yellow House at Sullivan's, where all gifts, garden, and home accents are, yes, 20% off. Come smell spring is in the air this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, where everything is 20% off. Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different. But one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
Are you ready to build your custom dream home? Joyner Homes is ready to make your dream come true. Over 18 years, Joyner Homes, based out of Greenfield, have built hundreds of homes in central Indiana. And the best place to start is JoynerHomes.com. That's where you'll find pricing, photos of completed Joyner homes to inspire you, available home sites, and info on where you can visit their model homes, and a lot more. Be sure to check out Joyner Homes' 5-star Google reviews. Get started today at JoynerHomes.com.
The Ford 70th Annual Indianapolis Boat Sport and Travel Show, February 19th through 23rd at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. See the latest boats, RVs, travel destinations from across North America, Tackletown, USA, and much more. Your ticket also gets you into the 27th Annual Indiana Deer, Turkey, and Waterfowl Expo, featuring the latest hunting, archery, and waterfowl gear. Saturday is Kids Day. The first 500 kids receive a free rod and reel combo. Visit IndySportsShow.com. Another Renfro production.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Speed, power, legendary. This is May in Indy. Start your engine. It's passion and drama, history and tradition, on their feet, victory and defeat. He will not catch it. Joseph Newman goes back to back. This is the Indy 500.
Get tickets for the 109th Indy 500 presented by Gainbridge at IMS.com.
This is May.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, what more you can expect from the snow and the upcoming weather. A fire in Indianapolis on Wednesday night. You'll hear how firefighters dealt with it and how a basketball game raised some money. Those stories and more after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
It's hard diplomacy. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what National Security Advisor Mike Waltz says about President Trump, who's blamed Ukraine for starting the war even though Russia invaded, and who's called Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky a dictator refusing to hold elections. Waltz tells Fox the U.S. is talking to both Russia and Ukraine to end the war.
Bringing everybody to the table at once just hasn't worked in the past. So we've engaged one side, we've engaged the other side, and then we're going to have a process moving forward under President Trump's direction and leadership.
And 2 days after U.S.-Russia talks, the American special envoy to Ukraine met today with Zelensky, but the U.S. has scrapped a plan to have the two speak at a joint news conference. Hamas released more hostages today in Gaza in 4 caskets handed over to Israel.
The highest profile, the family of 32-year-old mother and wife Shiri Bibas and her 2 sons, 4-year-old Ariel and 9-month-old Kafir, both of them the youngest hostages held. Father Darden Bibas was also captured but released alive earlier this month. Hamas claims without evidence the family was killed in an Israeli airstrike.
Fox's Greg Palcott in Tel Aviv, Israel.
For the nation, the Bibas plight embodied all of the hostages' suffering.
More federal layoffs are looming. The IRS expected to let thousands of workers go as the Trump administration targets recently hired probationary employees in all agencies. And with all the job cuts and spending being slashed with the help of the Department of Government Efficiency, Fox's Mark Meredith reports from the White House President Trump's considering paying us Doge dividends.
Potentially giving money back to taxpayers, but at this point, no final decisions made. This is something still up for discussions. Meantime, Republicans up on the Hill cheering these latest spending cuts, while Democrats warned that they could risk America's public safety, their financial future, as well as the future of government agencies overall.
The FBI is likely to get a new director today in a Senate confirmation vote for Kash Patel. Democrats oppose him as a Trump loyalist, but Republicans can outvote them. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It came down, so now what? It's warmed up to now 9 degrees in downtown Indy, and your radar is clear. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Every part of Indiana got snow at some point from Wednesday night into early this morning.
We had some reports of snow amounts as high as 3.5 inches. Here at the airport, we had just under 2 inches with that event.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says much of the snow will freeze because of how cold it is today, which will cause some slick travel conditions. Full list of closings and delays at WIBC.com. Some parts of Indiana are under a winter weather advisory until 7 this evening. A state trooper was in his patrol car when he was hit by a driver in Indianapolis Wednesday night. Both the driver and the trooper are okay, but both cars sustained significant damage. Imagine looking out your window and seeing your neighbor's house on fire.
I'm Ryan Hedrick, and for some people in Indianapolis, that nightmare became real on Wednesday. They called 911 to tell operators that smoke and flames were coming from a home.
2020 West New York Street.
Okay.
2020 West New York. House fire. Bad.
The home was on Indy's near West Side, not far from North Belmont Avenue.
We got to find a way to put water on the man now.
4 dogs died in the fire. IFD says the fire was accidental. It started because of a faulty repair on a space cord heater. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Testimony was given Wednesday night against the Indianapolis Animal Care Services Interim Director Kelly Diamond in front of the Indianapolis City County Council's Community Affairs Committee. This woman says if Diamond becomes the director permanently, that would be bad because she's done this.
There are bad policies, cutting free volunteer hours, not running appropriate background checks. Obviously, there is low morale.
The City County Council could vote on Diamond's appointment at its next meeting March 3rd. Teachers from the Vigo County School Corporation faced off against the Harlem Wizards Wednesday night in a charity event to raise money for schools. The Wizards are a basketball comedy team that entertain the crowd with their tricks and skills, focusing on fun rather than winning, and teachers from several schools in western Indiana also took part in the game. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. 10:04, Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-251-1912. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 463-251-1912. That's 463-251-1912.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIPC.
Riddle me this, riddle me that. Who's the lawmaker who runs a company who claims to be a multi-billion-dollar company, but took $554,000 from the government in forgivable loans during COVID?
Scott Baldwin from Envoy.
What?
Yeah.
No way. It is the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Look, I've told several people this over the past couple days. I've said we gave these lawmakers every opportunity to do the right thing. The governor ran on meaningful property tax reform, specific agenda items that he wanted to accomplish. Nobody raised their hand and said, I object. In fact, a lot of these people were running with Braun on that. Braun not only wins, he wins with a resounding mandate of 54% of voters saying we want property tax reform in this state. He crafts a good, reasonable bill that was a compromise between, I think, people like me who don't want property taxes at all and the people who want never-ending property tax increases. And these lawmakers, specifically the Senate Tax Committee, said, no, you're not allowed to have that. And so it was at that moment that these people drew the line in the sand and said, it's us versus them. Not us versus them in the sense of like a Republican or Democrat. It's us, the people, versus them, the politicians. So all of you people are fair game now. Every single one of you who voted to screw over the people of this state, everything you've said and done is fair game. And Casey, you would not believe the emails and text messages and internet transactions I get from people on a daily basis about the things these lawmakers have said and done. I mean, we could just do a whole show all day, every day on the transgressions of these lawmakers. But I think of all of them, Scott Baldwin, senator from Hamilton County, is the most egregious because it is blatant, it is obvious. He runs a company, a multi-billion-dollar company, who makes money, a large portion of their money, don't take it from me, take it from their website. You've seen it, Casey.
I'm looking at it right now.
Over government construction contracts paid for by property tax dollars.
On the front page of the website, they say Envoy has managed over $2 billion in construction projects, establishing itself as a recognized leader in the industry. And then there's 3 different pages you can choose from: schools, government, and private sector. And if you click on government, they have pictures and lists of all of the different construction projects they've been involved in,
including Carmel
Fire Station number 44.
And when the mayor of Carmel, he does big business in Hamilton County. Think about that. His company's making a fortune off the home county that he represents. And at no point when Sue Fingham was up there testifying on Senate Bill 1 did Scott Baldwin raise his hand and go, hey, I need to disclose before I question you, my company that I run, we made a lot of money off you guys.
I should recuse myself from this section.
That would be the ethical thing to do, to tell the public. And so now that we know what we're dealing with, and it's us versus them, then you're damn right. I'm going to start using every tool available to me to make sure that the tens of thousands of people who listen to this program every single day know who every one of these senators are that voted to screw us over. Yeah, you're right. People send us stuff all the time, and most of the time we just ignore it because it's not a great use of our resources because most people know what you people are anyway. But yeah, now it's on. And people have been sending this to me for a week now about how much money the company that Scott Baldwin runs took from the federal government during COVID. And according to ProPublica, with the forgivable loans, with the interest, it was $554,000. So my question to Scott Baldwin and Envoy is, why would a company who brags about how much money it makes off government-related contracts, the government didn't shut down, all the government people kept getting paid. Look at all the government construction and things that got built during COVID. The one place that didn't get screwed, the one set of workers that didn't get screwed, the one place where projects didn't stop during COVID was government. So why is it that a company that brags about all the money that it makes, a multi-billion-dollar company that makes all this money, millions and millions of dollars off government-related contracts, construction projects, why would they need money from the federal government to stay afloat?
$500,000. And it looks like it was approved on April 8th of 2020, the first round. So as soon as you could apply, they did.
And why was it forgiven? Your company is bragging about how much money it makes. Why are poor and middle-class people, if indeed this is all accurate, and I've asked for somebody from Envoy or Scott Baldwin if this is inaccurate. I mean, I've seen it from many different sources. The one I posted, I believe, was ProPublica, which is a government-related watchdog website. Why would you need those loans forgiven if you're this really mega company that's doing all these projects and all these governments and this and that, and look at how big we are? Why would you need our money?
Is that a double dip or a triple dip?
That's
This was under the payroll column. That this loan was for.
Okay. So I mean what, they just didn't exist during COVID? They weren't working, people weren't doing the contracts, all the governments just said that's it, we're done. I mean, you go to that website and it just seems like there's a lot of stuff they've been doing in the last couple of years, their case.
Well, especially in Hamilton County, you got the Hamilton County 911 radio communications tower, the Hamilton County Animal Shelter, the Hamilton County Communications Corrections Center, the Hamilton County E911 Dispatch Center, the Hamilton County Health Annex, the Hamilton County Jail Intake Booking, Hamilton County Juvenile Services Center.
So for all you people in the Senate, and I'm sure it'll be the same way in the House, we're not stopping. Because the people are behind us 100%. They've been behind us from the beginning. And they've caught on to what you guys are. And we're not stopping doing this radio program and calling you out. We're not stopping the Callin' Lion Dudes segment. We're not stopping any of that until you guys do the right thing and put the people ahead of the government, put the people ahead of your special interest, put the people ahead of ways that you personally, the company you run, is making money. Once you guys start doing that, then we will stop. But we haven't even begun to fight, Casey, because I am sick of watching our listeners get screwed by these unethical people.
So there's this organization, it's called Hoosier Hope, and they say that they seek to empower the individual through public policy. We believe in policies that provide people with more freedom and opportunity to pursue their dreams. It looks like it might be a PAC.
Yeah.
And they put out a video yesterday, and they called it Taxpayer Alert. Thanks to Scott Baldwin, your taxes will continue to rise. Scott chose to stand with government instead of taxpayers. He voted to gut Braun's tax relief plan that would save homeowners $1 billion on their property taxes. Tell him to restore Braun's tax cuts.
Yeah, we're not stopping.
Things are getting wild.
Well, these people everybody's going to know what you guys are down the street from us, whether you choose to do the right thing or not. The people are fed up. They are fed up. And you are showing that no matter how bad their existence is, how much they're hurting, you don't care. So we will make you care. We will make you care. All right, Nikki Kelly's going to join us next. We got to talk about this crazy thing that's going on with really bad actors that the state is responsible for. They're being housed in county jails, and now the state basically said, we know we promised to pay for these guys, but we're out of money.
Can't do that. She's going to join us next on 93 WIBC.
The currency of Washington. Politics.
They've got to stop playing politics.
Power.
He just wants power.
Posturing.
What a stupid question.
And I'm going to cut through the nonsense and let you know what is really happening in D.C. this week at CPAC 2025.
He'll talk to the newsmakers, power players, and maybe even find a little common sense.
Stranger things have happened.
Getting the answers that matter to you.
Because somebody's got to do it, and you have a life to live.
Tony Katz, live from D.C., today and tomorrow on 93 WIBC.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-239-1749, 800-239-1749, or biglou.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant and home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
From the side bay to the valley, from the west side to the east side.
A lot going on at the Indiana State House. Let's get to the bottom of as much as we can. It's Kendall Casey Show. I'm Rob. Casey's here. Let's go to the WIBC hotline, one of the best in the business. You know her from the Indiana Capital Chronicle. Nikki Kelly, hello.
Morning.
All right, so you guys had a fascinating article. You guys did a great deep dive on this, on something that I have been screaming about for basically 10 years now, ever since they did this criminal justice reform bill. And it deals with now this, it's seemingly at a crisis level, on how seemingly kind of dangerous, bad offenders are, communities are not properly being taken care of by the state of Indiana to take care of these people.
Yeah, I mean, just to be clear, the offenders are behind bars. The community is safe. What's happening is that the Department of Correction is supposed to pay county jails when they hold a prisoner for them. That's two groups of people. It's anyone sentenced as a level 6 felony, the lowest level felony, and then anyone sentenced to another felony, but they're just waiting to go to DOC. You know, they got to transfer out. Well, the state has run out of money for the payment to the locals. So they've exhausted their appropriation with 4 months to go in the fiscal year, and they're trying to figure something out. But meanwhile, you know, counties, jails are stuck with these people and not getting paid for them.
So let me make sure I can kind of simplify this for the audience. So these are you know, bad actors, people who have been convicted of felonies. the counties are doing the state a favor by hanging on to them, for lack of a better term, for a period of time. They're supposed to get X amount of dollars back in order to do that, which makes sense. And now the state has said, well, sorry, we're out of money.
Yeah, they get $40 a day for these inmates, and that actually saves the state money. That was part of this reform that you mentioned before, because it costs about $80 a day to house an inmate in the state prison system. So the lowest level now stay at the county jails. The state reimburses them at $40 a day. The irony in all this is that we're discussing a new budget. House Republican budget increased that per diem to $43 a day, but yet there wasn't enough money in the current budget to even get through the fiscal year.
Well, and this article is so well written because according to this article, Greg Sturwald, who this guy always, every time I've ever talked to him, he tells me how hard he's working. I'm not sure what he's ever actually accomplished, but he'll always tell you how hard he's working. He got caught totally by surprise by this in a hearing that was unrelated to even this piece of legislation.
Right, and that's how I found out about it, too. I was listening to the debate on an immigration bill, and a sheriff was testifying about the immigration bill. And he was kind of bringing up, we have all these costs. And he, on a throwaway line, said, and now we're not even going to get paid for the DOC holds. And, and I looked into it, and Sturwald says that he, after learning about that, he's sure that they're going to figure it out and get them the payment, that no one will be stiffed. But, it definitely took him by surprise, took the Sheriff's Association by surprise, yeah.
Isn't that a little concerning that in the case of Greg Sturwald, he's supposed to be Mr. Criminal Reform and everything criminality, and this is a pretty big deal, and he's like, what? I didn't know anything about this.
Well, to be fair, I guess they just told counties about that 4 days before. So, it wasn't just him, and he's in the middle of the session. So he's not thinking about whether the last budget had enough money.
So are they what are they giving these people IOUs? Because, according to this article, it kind of made it sound like he was like, yeah, we'll take care of it. It'll be fine. How are they planning on taking care of this?
Yeah, all that the Department of Corrections said is they're working with the state budget agency. There is some flexibility if they can. Maybe if they have money in a different line item, they could move it over, but they're just saying they're trying to work on it right now. The whole system with the jails is weird. It's not like they send a monthly report that says, we held this many of your prisoners for you for this many days. It has to do with some weird formula. They get one lump sum first, and then there's some additions. So it's a complicated system. They don't get paid every month as is, because of the way it's worked out. So they're also trying to simplify how they get paid into a more direct system in the next budget.
I want to get to this HIP funding article that you guys did, because I thought that was super interesting and important too. But first, this is our weekly chance to chat about the property tax issue. We have been told by multiple people, and it's basically been backed up now, that it's just total chaos what came out of the Senate. They basically all hate it. They don't like it. They just wanted to get done with it. It doesn't seem like it's going the way, the way anybody had planned thus far, and everybody seems completely miserable.
Well, I'm sure the Senate's proud to get it off, or not proud, but glad to get it off their plate and let the House handle it for the second half and try to, find some sort of landing path for it. But yeah, it's definitely a bit crazy. Trying to figure out how that's going to go.
Have you ever seen on a key issue that happen before where they're like, well, this stinks, and we hope you guys can make it better. Here you go. Good luck.
In general, they do that all the time on bills because they know if they stop the bill right then, they've lost their vehicle. So they will generally, quote, keep it moving. That's the phrase they like to use. While they work stuff up. But that there were a number of Republicans especially who were not happy, and Democrats clearly too, that it doesn't, provide much relief in the sense of an actual reduction. Yes, it wouldn't go up as much, and they're trying to control the future limits and future growth, and that's all great, but it didn't really help anyone right now.
Yeah, these guys are finding out real quick property taxes are hard. I don't think maybe some of them quite understood that when they got into this endeavor.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why, property taxes are hard, is every little thing has, a consequence, and trying to balance the homeowners with making sure they get their streets paved is,
Yeah.
hard.
Are you surprised by Braun's response?
He definitely went a little. I thought his initial take on Monday was very spicy and interesting. It'll be a long way before I, sign it. But lots can happen, and so. But yesterday, he was straight out. Yeah, I could veto it and bring him back. That was fascinating. Loving the interplay there. Now, mind you, they don't technically have to do anything but the budget. So he can call them back and they can come in and they can gavel in and gavel out. They still don't have to do a bill.
I said it'd be like the Michael Scott Paper Company, Nikki, where he just keeps calling the special sessions and they keep coming back and gaveling in and gaveling out. I think it would be fascinating. All right, real quick. I want to make sure Nikki Kelly's our guest. I want to make sure we had time to get to this. So we talked with Merritt yesterday about the article that you guys did, Jim Merritt, about the people that there is this plan now that the Republican senators have put forward. They said, hey, look, we got kind of a crisis point on HIP 2.0. We got 700,000 people that are on this program. We got to get it down to 500,000. And you had sent me a message and said, not that Jim Merritt ever makes a mistake, but you were like, whoa, somebody's way off here. There's 2 million people on Medicaid. This is just the HIP plan.
Correct. I think people are getting very confused. So, yeah, there are 1.98 million Hoosiers on Medicaid. The HIP plan is a subset of that and was last up to about 750,000. Basically, the other people on Medicaid are if you're above 64 and poor, if you are disabled, children, pregnant individuals, that kind of thing. The HIP section is largely 19 to 64, just adults, non-disabled. And so HIP has a higher, so Medicaid has, I don't know what it is off my head, but if eligibility is, $100 or whatever, HIP goes up a little further so that you can make a little more and still get health coverage. Now, you're still very poor. I think for HIP, it's for one person, if you make up to $24,000, you still are eligible to get this subsidized health care coverage.
So those are staggering numbers. If the 2 million number, and I have no reason to doubt you on this, is correct, that means 1 out of every basically 3.5 people in this state is on some sort of government assistance is related to their health care. And then, as you said, then you got the subsidy, which you've got basically right now 1 out of every, what would that be? It's 700,000. The 1 out of every 10 people, they're trying to knock it down to whatever out of every 14. Like, this is just, it's all unsustainable, Nikki. There's no way you continue to pay for all of this.
Well, I mean, that's a fair criticism, but I do want to point out that one thing I think Republicans are making it sound like is that this is like full of people who don't belong there. And I think that's inaccurate. They don't have any proof that some of these people aren't eligible. FSSA, after the pandemic, went through a year-long redetermination period. They checked the eligibility of all 2 million of those people. They did expect more people to drop off than did. But that doesn't mean there's some sort of, graft going. It means there are a lot of poor people in Indiana. And so I just want to be clear that, like I said, in some of the conversations I'm hearing, sounds like Republicans are leading people to believe that they don't qualify or aren't eligible, and they do. And that's our law, and it's an entitlement program. And they are just going to kick a random 200,000 people off of it.
Well, that's the end of the day, right? Like, how do they decide who the 200,000 are? Because they, the government, collectively, the state, the federal, I mean, Medicaid's you need a PhD to understand the formula and how it all works. But collectively, they've created this, like you said, entitlement where if you check these boxes, you're in. And they can't pay for it now. The state can't pay for it. How are they going to pick the 200,000? Any idea?
Yeah, I have no idea. Logistically, they're not talking about that. too far. Because first, it's a complicated system. It's technically in our Medicaid plan. They want to move it to a waiver system, which means they could then kick those people off. Federal government has to approve it, which I'm sure they would under the Trump administration. But I don't know how you kick them off. Like, is it like everyone A to Z? I don't know how you pick who gets to keep it and who doesn't.
All right. Find her at the IndianaCapitalChronicle.com. Nikki Kelly, you're the best. Thank you.
See you later.
Yep, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Thanks, Nikki.
Whether you're preparing for retirement, navigating a life transition, or simply wondering if you're on the right path, Howard Bailey Financial is here to help. Together, we'll work on a personalized plan designed to bring greater clarity to your goals and help you approach decisions with confidence. It's not just about numbers, it's about the life you want to lead and the legacy you want to leave behind. With over 20 years of experience, Howard Bailey Financial has been dedicated to guiding individuals as they work toward taking control of their financial future and finding peace of mind. Text PATH to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement toolkit and start planning for the retirement you've dreamed of. Howard Bailey Financial, helping you turn hope into a plan and dreams into reality. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It won't feel like this forever. You've got a sunny sky, and it's 9 degrees on Monument Circle. 5 is the low this evening. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 10:31. Not only will the snow drift away, temperatures will also warm up across Indiana soon.
We will see temperatures reach the freezing point by Saturday, and looking at the potential for seeing temperatures in the 50s early next week.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says once today is over, he does not expect it to snow again for the rest of February. Nearly 95 million people are under some sort of cold weather alert from the plains to the southeast. Parts of the East Coast were hit with lots of snow Wednesday, and treacherous travel conditions remain an issue. Most of it came down in Virginia and North Carolina, where more than a foot of snow fell in some areas. And Major League Baseball spring training gets started today. The defending World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers will take on the Chicago White Sox in Glendale, Arizona. First pitch in the Cactus League opener set for 3:05 today. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. If your garage floor looks bad with stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your entire garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job or chipping paint makes your garage or basement look worse. With one quick call to 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, I can save you $1,000 on a new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor during our winter sale. A Comer & Cross concrete floor coating is the gold standard. Guaranteed. A Comer & Cross garage floor won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. What's the Comer & Cross difference? We make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. In one day, you will love your gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor just in time for spring. Call us right now for $1,000 in savings during our winter sale. Operators are standing by now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. That's 800-948-1659.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-239-1749. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-239-1749. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-239-1749. 800-239-1749.
Patio furniture preseason priced at 30% off. This weekend, get an extra 20% off at Sullivan Hardware and Garden and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
The phone number, if you'd like to get involved, 317-684-8444. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. And this first phone call is about our favorite senator, Scott Baldwin.
This is Mark up in Noblesville. I listen to you guys all the time. I'm retired military, and my weather radio's on 93.1 all the time. I've tried to get a hold of Senator Baldwin numerous times. You got the 9400 number, and then you guys can be transferred to him. There's no direct number. You go to his webpage. He doesn't list his email address. A template comes up. Well, I found his email address, and you would probably love to see the letter I wrote him, and he hasn't replied to my email. So it's status quo. But anyway, I called the governor's office, said veto Senate Bill 1. It benefits me as a disabled veteran over 65, but that's not the point. So keep up the good work. It's funny listening to you. I loved when you just called Scott Baldwin's office. Have a great one.
That guy is what we need more of, where he flat out said, this thing, the few people it helps, I'm one of them, but I'm not for this just because it helps me. I want to help everybody. And that's exactly what you need. However, what this guy should do is he should call Scott Baldwin's office and claim that he knows of a government building contract that could be had. And I bet Scott Baldwin call him back.
Pick up.
Like that.
What do you got? Tell me. Well, he mentioned the veto, and that's becoming more and more of the talking point.
Well, yeah.
From Mike Braun.
Yeah, look, and so then people are now like, because Braun came out and said he would call a special session too, and people are saying, well, all they'd have to do is adjourn, and they could unadjourn. It's the point of it, though. Mm-hmm. It's the premise of you keep making these people come back and let the public know and keep front and center to the public what they're doing, or in this case, not doing. This is such a simple fix. And I had this conversation with somebody last night, a lawmaker who will not be named, because that person would be
tarred and
feathered if found out they were calling me of their own free will and volition. Mm-hmm. And I said, this is a want-to thing. These guys do not want to stand up to local governments. That's all this is about. They don't believe that schools are going to suffer. They don't believe police officers are going to suffer. They don't believe firemen are going to suffer. They certainly don't believe dumbass Greg Taylor saying that there won't be snow plows or street lights. They know everything will be fine. It's they don't want to stand up to local governments on your behalf. Everybody in the State House knows what's going on right now. Everybody knows they could fix this. Everybody knows they could make it so that you get the property tax relief. Everybody knows things would be fine. They don't want to do it.
Imagine you're a rank and file employee in the State House and you see these guys walking around. Like, if you were one of them, wouldn't you be like putting your head down in shame? Like, yeah, you guys, you know what we did.
The club has been shook up. The club has been shook up. Mm-hmm. Is that?
It's all shook up.
Is it shaken up? What is it grammatically? The club has been shook up.
I think it's shaken up.
Is that right?
Yeah.
The club has been, if it's wrong, it's Kevin. You're the world traveler. You would probably know the most about grammar. The club has been shaken up because they don't have Sweet Daddy Eric in there giving them the big government cover. You have now a bulldog in there in Braun who he don't care. Braun's old, he's rich, and this is the last stop on the election train for him, right?
Would you have guessed that from him?
Yeah, I did. That's why I supported him. I mean, that meeting I had with him last year when we met for an hour and we talked about a lot of things, we talked very directly. I didn't walk into this with eyes, like naively. I genuinely believed out of that conversation, I've been around this game long enough to sniff out the bull crap, that he was dedicated to doing some of these things. And if you look at, by the way, I didn't want to tell everybody, this is important. You are going to see now in the House, the partisan school board bill is not going to be called for a vote, okay? I don't want everybody to freak out. What's been decided is the Senate bill was so good, and the fact that it passed the Senate, they're now going to bring that to the House for the vote. So I did want to clarify that to everybody, that the partisan school board bill, or making school board elections like every other election in the state, you're not going to see that called for a vote. I don't want everybody to think there wasn't support for it or whatever. It's just been decided that because that bill cleared the Senate and was so good, they're going to just let that go up for a vote in the House in the amendment process. But the point is, Braun has gotten the things done that he promised. The universal school choices in the budget. He's doing his part on slashing state agency budgets. Within the realistic things a governor can accomplish, he's doing all the things. He's doing all the things.
Here's a phone call. This one about all the federal government layoffs.
Good morning. Hope you're doing well. I wish I wouldn't listen to the news in the morning because it drives me crazy. They're talking about these government layoffs. Well, I'm sorry, people. I've been laid off 4 times in my different jobs through my lifetime because of the economy, and there's no money. Not because I did a bad job, not because I'm a terrible person. It's because of the money. I was laid off. So I don't know where these federal employees think they're, like, better than everyone else, that they can't be laid off, too, because there's no money. Give me a break, people. That's reality. That's life. Get used to it, Democrats. That's why I lost my job 4 times, because you guys were in charge and screwed the economy up.
Well, they could learn to code.
Somebody have that lady run for public office. I like her. She's right. Think about a couple weeks ago when they blew several people out of here. Was there some march down at the State House for those people? No. That's how society works. That's how businesses work. That's how people who live in the real world work. They got to make hard choices every so often because of the economy or whatever. And the only place you see some march or parade for people losing their jobs is when it's the government workers.
Well, it's because these people think that they got a federal employment position and that will last them their entire life.
Bingo.
They feel entitled to keep being employed forever
Bingo.
and ever. And even if they're transitioning from one agency to another, they call it burrowing.
Yeah.
Where they just stick around until, there's an opening over in that agency. I can just slide right over there. Here's another phone call. This one about doing an event.
So on these property taxes, they say the squeaky wheel gets the grease. But apparently we aren't squeaking loud enough. I think what we need to do is we need to go ahead and publish the home addresses of every single one of these state senators. And every weekend we pick a different Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday night, we pick a different senator each night, and we show up at their house yelling and screaming in the middle of the night, Senate Bill 1, and keep them awake all night, shining spotlights on their houses. And then we need to show up at the State House by the thousands. Since we can't get angry red shirts because that was taken by the teachers, we can get WIBC blue color shirts, and on the back we can put a cool saying, something like, I hate property taxes almost more than I hate Rob Kendall. What do you think?
Okay, so a couple of things. One, you can't go to people's houses.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Now,
we're not publishing anybody's home address.
I said you see a guy at a Wendy's or a Walmart, fair game, do in a polite,
legal abiding way.
Legal law-abiding way. You can go up to them and tell them exactly what you think. Don't go to their house. I will say this. I think first of next week, we're going to be able to give you a big announcement on something we have been planning that will check several of the boxes that gentleman has desired.
Right, with the thousands of people comment.
Yes, and so we will, we're finishing up getting all the I's dotted and T's crossed on that, and it will be the Custer's last stand of the property tax fight, and we will hope that we will have the largest event ever to take place of something of this magnitude, and that it will accomplish the thing we need it to. You know us. We just go big, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've been working on this. Several people have for the last week or two, and we're about ready to announce that. And hopefully that will give all of you an opportunity in person to
express yourself.
Yes, that's right. That's correct.
Okay. Another phone call. This one about voting straight ticket.
Hey, Rob. Hey, Casey. All right. So all week I've been hearing about these people who are mad about the people they voted in about the property tax. I'm 26. I'll never be able to afford a house in my lifetime, probably. Anyway, these are the same people who most likely voted straight ticket Republican and thought, I know, I'll vote Republican and get these goofus Republicans out. No, that's not how that works. They're all part of the good time fun game. I've voted straight ticket twice in my life, and that was the 2016 and 2020 election. I'll never do it again. So that's just my thoughts. You can do what you want with it. Outside of that, have a good day.
Yep, we've been talking about that for years on this show about never vote straight party. Make every person on your ballot earn your vote. If they haven't earned your vote, leave it blank. If there's nobody on there that's earned your vote, or you can always protest vote for a Democrat. Casey, can we take a break? And when we come back, Hammer's not here today.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the money grab that's going on in Morgan County.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm going to show you how they do these little tricks to take your property tax dollars, to take your money, and then they'll come to the legislature and plead poverty. There's something really gross that they're attempting to do out there, and I'd like to put that on display for everyone.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show will go off the rails with Rob Kendall. Ask the Gun Guy with Guy Relford filling in for Hammer, and all the top stories a little after 3, 93 WIBC.
Were you uninvited to game night? Do you play board games with the ferocious intensity of an iron-fisted oligarch? Have friends left game night asking, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. Right now, during Mattress Firm's President's Day sale, save up to $500 on Tempur-Pedic, plus get a $300 instant gift. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or mattressfirm.com for details.
Hello, friends. This is my opportunity to tell you about my friend Mark Deedle. Recent talk about rising interest rates and economic uncertainty may have you wondering if now is the right time to sell your home. Will I get the price I need? Will it take too long? The good news, you don't have to figure this out by yourself. There is a friendly, no-pressure, experienced agent who eats and sleeps Indianapolis real estate, and his fabulous Hoosier name is Mark Deedle. Maybe you want guaranteed no-hassle home sale, but don't want to give up hard-earned equity to do it. Mark Deedle guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed-upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Greg and Franklin had to say about working with Mark Deedle. My tenant moved out of my investment property, and I was ready to sell. I heard about Mark on the radio, and everything they say is true. In 15 days on the market, I had a cash offer I wanted on the property. Selling with Mark Deedle was fast, easy, and profitable. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Deedle 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdeedle.com. It's Mark, DIETEL.com.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Indiana Foundation Service comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at indianafoundation.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for detail.
Let's talk about getting back to your best. Lack energy, muscle mass, feel moody, or have low libido? It could be signs of low testosterone. Know your T levels. Get tested. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer. The true experts are at Low T Center, and everyone's different. Don't settle for a standard dosage TRT program.
Get personalized treatment at Low T Center. For current patients, Low T Center offers a $150 referral credit when you refer a new patient. LowTCenter.com. Book that appointment today. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Blood, sweat, tears. At Bill Estes, we know it takes hard work and years of doing the right thing to build a business people can depend on. That's why we don't make empty promises and expect your trust. Estes earns it. From Ford F-150s and Toyota Tacomas to Ram 1500s and Chevy Silverados, we have the trucks you'll love at prices you can believe in. But don't just take our word for it. Your trust means something. Estes earns it. BillEstes.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I'm a grandson, a son, I'm an employee and a mentor. I'm a father to 2 beautiful kids and a husband to an amazing wife. And I have a substance use disorder. In other words, I'm living in recovery with an addiction. And now that you know, will you let it change how you see me? It's okay to see my addiction, but I want you to know it's people choosing to see me as a person that changed my life.
See the person, not just their disease. Learn more at cbeyondtheaddiction.org.
Never miss your favorite shows on WIBC. Get your content to go. Would you like fries with that? Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
I see what you did there.
Yes.
The dirty is on in Morgan County, Casey.
Yeah, the fire departments of Mooresville and Brown Township, they're considering a merger. They say this is to boost their budgets.
You mean raise taxes?
Oh, well, yeah, a 30% increase, Rob.
We speak Kendall and Casey English on this show, which means we tell you what's going on. So, look, even if you don't live in Morgan County or the greater Mooresville area, listen to what we're about to tell you, because it's another example of how these locals, they never stop. They're like Pac-Man. They are in the game to keep eating. And by eating, instead of the little creatures in Pac-Man, it's your wallet. And this is another great example. So Mooresville, the town of Mooresville, is in some sort of interlocal agreement with Brown Township, which I'm not, intricately familiar with the greater Mooresville area, but it's the township surrounding part of the greater Mooresville area. They call it an unincorporated area. And they provide fire service to that area. I'm guessing the township pays some sort of fee, et cetera. And by all accounts, no one is raising their hands, shouting about fire trucks or EMS or anything not showing up. By all accounts, everything appears to be in upright and working order. And yet, these boards are now meeting because they're being pressured by the big fire muckety-mucks. Primarily, I would guess it'd be the fire union people, and if somebody would like to dispute that and let me know who is actually pressuring for this, because I don't see any objection in there against this from the fire people. They're pressuring them, or they're being pressured, or they're wanting to pressure themselves or whatever to create what they call a fire territory. And so what happens with the fire territory, and I know all about fire territories because I was forced to deal with one when I was an elected official, is they become their own taxing authority, their own government entity, which means instead of having to go to the governing bodies and explain what they want, they create their own tax rates, and they can decide how much money they want, and they become a part of the taxing pie for your property taxes. And according to this article in the Morgan County Correspondent, as it does with almost every place that enacts a fire territory, it will be a massive tax increase for the people of the greater Mooresville area.
The interesting thing about this is the financial advisor said that a fire territory is a way for them to secure additional funding.
Raise taxes. That's what it is. So this is the most government thing ever. you have a service which you pay for in your property taxes to the fine people of running the greater town of Mooresville. And by all accounts, they're operating a fire department that is running and showing up and in the rare case that there is a burning building, no doubt the fire people are doing their jobs to the best of their ability. I don't see, this is not the Great Chicago Fire of the 1800s taking place in the greater Mooresville area. By all accounts, fire is under control in the greater Mooresville area. We don't have old people dropping dead due to lack of emergency response. I mean, everything is running relatively smooth. But they're saying, that's not good enough for us. We can't just run in a timely and efficient and tax-effective manner. We want more stuff.
They said that they need this increased funding for operations and also for capital.
Stuff. Bright, shiny objects.
Bright, shiny
They want
objects.
things, and they're pushing these board members on the Mooresville Town Board and this Brown Township Board to create this fire territory so that they can become their own taxing entity and raise your taxes.
They also say that there's not going to be any big significant changes to the current fire department structure. So it's not like they're changing anything.
Right.
They just want increased funding for capital.
It'd be one thing if they said, man, there has been a fire on every corner for every day for the past 7 years, and we're very concerned about the inability to put these fires out. And we need a new fire station on every street. No, they're saying everything is running fine. We just want more money. We just want more stuff.
We want more stuff.
So my point of all this is who you're dealing with. This is who we're fighting right now, the sort of stuff we're fighting when we're fighting on this property tax reform. Clearly in this article, they're admitting, yeah, stuff's kind of running okay, and we're not really going to change anything. We just want more money.
So in Brown Township, a $200,000 home would rise from $1,082 to $1,400.
Pay up!
One in Mooresville, a $200,000 home, the tax increase would go from $1,233 to $1,630. 30% increase.
Hey, you got to read this post from this Carmel City Councilman,
man.
Boy,
Dramatic reading coming up.
He's wild.
Get your vocal cords warmed up, Rob. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Has the holiday season left you overwhelmed, stressed out, and overweight? Do you feel frustrated when you think about what you need to do to be healthy and feel better? You deserve a simple approach to a stronger, healthier, and more enjoyable life. Exercise Inc. has been helping people in Central Indiana reach their health and fitness goals for 20 years. The approach is simple. Strength train with a certified coach once a week for 20 minutes. Adopt the 9 simple habits you need to follow to change your health and lose weight. Then get out there and enjoy life, because you'll be stronger and have more energy, and you're going to feel better, and you'll lose weight, and you'll probably even look better too. And you may even be able to get off of some of those prescription medications. Exercise Inc., Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, Zionsville, and now in Fishers. The studios are private, no mirrors, no music, and no spandex. Just you and a professional coach working to reach your goals for the new year. Go to exerciseinc.com today to sign up for a free consultation.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
2 of the hottest young teams in the NBA are about to go head-to-head at Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
Left edge wide open, a long one for 3, and that's Siakam.
Catch the Pacers and Grizzlies.
He splits the defense. His little shot, and a ball!
Miles Turner and your Pacers battle former Purdue standout Zach Edey and the Grizzlies. It's the Grizzlies' only regular season visit. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Grizzlies. Thursday at 7.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy. Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
In almost every case, when Advent has solved a breathing triangle problem, it is a one and done. Because we don't want you to be a lifelong patient. We want you to be our next success story.
Book your custom patio project before March 1st and save up to $2,500. Indy Decorative Concrete, the patio experts. Big enough to service, small enough to care.
Coming up in 2 minutes from the Technology Recycler Studios, when relief from the snow and cold temperatures could arrive, what happened to a state trooper on Wednesday, and what the Indiana Pacers head coach says they need to be ready for. Those stories and more coming up after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis, and it's now 11 o'clock.
The hearts of an entire nation lie in tatters. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Israel's president posted that on social media after Hamas released the bodies of 4 hostages.
And I think he shares what all of us feel.
The U.S. ambassador to Israel nominee Mike Huckabee just told Fox
their bodies come home in coffins that were locked by Hamas, and they handed keys to the Red Cross, but the keys did not fit the coffins. I mean, it's just another insult to injury.
Inside those coffins,
32-year-old mother and wife Shiri Bibas and her 2 sons, 4-year-old Ariel and 9-month-old Kafir.
Those were the 2 youngest hostages Hamas took in the 2023 terror attack that triggered the war. Fox's Greg Palcott also reports from Tel Aviv as part of the ceasefire deal.
The remains of Oded Lifshitz was also transferred. He was a retired journalist and an important peace activist aiding Palestinians in Gaza with, for example, their medical needs.
In Ukraine, U.S. Special Envoy Keith Kellogg met today with President Volodymyr Zelensky, days after U.S.-Russia talks without Ukraine. Vice President Vance just said President Trump wants a lasting peace deal.
When he walks into negotiation, he says everything is on the table. And of course, that makes the heads explode in the American media because they say, why are you talking to Russia? Well, how are you going to end the war unless you're talking to Russia? You've got to talk to everybody involved in the fighting.
The vice president also told the CPAC conservative gathering with a big drop in illegal immigration, the Republican-led Congress must act to be sure.
Everything the president has done on the border, we have got to empower him to do it, not just for a month, but for the next 4 years.
In a few hours, Senate Republicans plan to vote to confirm Kash Patel as the new FBI director without any Democrat support.
Patel will be the 19th nominee confirmed, 13 with bipartisan support. But some Democrats are enduring confirmation remorse after their votes for Trump nominees.
That's Fox's Chad Pergam at the Capitol. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What you woke up to and where it goes. Nothing on radar. It is sunny and 7 degrees in downtown Indy. I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Snow fell in Indiana while most people were sleeping.
Yeah, we really just want people to be careful this morning. There's already been quite a few accidents with the slick roads. So even though the snowfall has stopped, with how cold it is, any of that snow that melted has refrozen, leading to some slick conditions out there.
Andrew White with the National Weather Service in Indianapolis says this should be the last of the snow that Indiana should be getting for a while. He also expects it to warm up next week. A state trooper was hit by someone else in Indianapolis Wednesday night.
The car has significant damage, and the car that hit the trooper has even more damage.
State Police Sergeant John Perrine says the investigation shows that the driver was going too fast for the icy road conditions. Also on Wednesday night, 4 dogs died in a fire on Indy's near west side. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Calls started coming into the 911 center shortly after 5:30.
Hello? Miss Daddy, come on.
Miss Daddy, the house is on fire next door. You need to come
Audio
out.
released by the Indianapolis Fire Department from a neighborhood not far from North Belmont Avenue and West Vermont Street.
You have people in, but you don't think there are any humans inside, or correct? I don't know. I don't think so. I think he left out. Okay.
Emergency personnel tried to revive the dogs, but to no avail. IFD is looking into this. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indiana gas average is at $2.95 a gallon on average today, says Gas Buddy. It's $2.93 in Indianapolis, Carmel, Fishers, and Greenwood. The Indiana Pacers are back at it tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies. Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle says this stretch of games will not be easy.
We've got 4 very tough home games coming up, starting with Memphis. Memphis is a smash-mouth team. They're physical. They're tough. They try to intimidate.
And the Pacers will post up against former Purdue center Zach Edey for the first time this season. Tip-off at 7 Eastern. Pre-game coverage begins at 6:30 over on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. I'm John Herrick on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com. WIBC News Time, 11:04. Kendall and Casey coming back in 1 minute.
Ready for spring? How about a trip to Sullivan Hardware and Garden or Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan, where you can smell that spring is in the air? Hey, Pat Sullivan here, and this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, everything is 20% off. Best pricing of the season on premium patio furniture, already pre-season priced at 30% off. You got it, take an extra 20% off. Now, this only happens once a year. All grills and accessories, 20% off. Best deal of the year on all gas, wood pellet grills, and the Big Green Egg. Everything in lawn and garden, including the Scott's 4-step annual lawn care program, 20% off. Even Benjamin Moore paint is 20% off. Visit the Yellow House at Sullivan's, where all gifts, garden and home accents are, yes, 20% off. Come smell spring is in the air this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday only, where everything is 20% off. Sullivan Hardware and Garden, 71st and Keystone, 49th and Penn, Cicero, and Allisonville Home and Garden by Sullivan.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Toxic rhetoric, Casey. Toxic rhetoric.
Is that what we are? Oh, no. Say it isn't so. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. Good morning.
Okay, so look, I told Mike Gaskell. By the way, Mike Gaskell, senator, is going to be on our show tomorrow at 9:30. And I had a very nice conversation with him this morning, about 10 minutes. He was very complimentary of us and what we do and the show. And he said he's a big fan of the show, and he hears some constituents all the time who listen. So thank you to that. And then we had a nice talk, and he said, I'd like to come on tomorrow and talk property taxes.
You know, the interesting thing is everybody keeps calling for Indiana Doge. Doge. We've had Indiana Doge for a while now. It's called the Kendall and Casey Show.
Right.
People calling out waste, fraud, and abuse. Hello. We're right here. Thanks for joining.
And before I hung up the phone, I told him, I said, Mike, you need to deliver this message to your colleagues. And the message is this. We're not stopping. We have momentum. You guys can do whatever you're going to do. Ultimately, we can't make you do anything. You're going to vote however you're going to vote, and they're going to vote however they're going to vote. And, that's the way the system works, right? But we're not stopping. And the people are awake now, and they're pissed off, and they're fired up, and they're not going away.
And they're going to remember.
Right. The people are with us. We are with the people. And you guys can decide what you want to do with that going forward. But it's fascinating to me, the entitled they're like little children, these local government people, and how they are lashing out at the fact that nobody has ever effectively hit them before the way we are effectively hitting them right now. And I saw this post from this guy who's on the Carmel City Council, and I thought, well, we have to read it, because then the back and forth we had after that was even better. But I mean, these people are just wholly ridiculous. They're like petulant little children Kev and I were laughing during the break. I love the posts from these like, city council people as though it's some presidential declaration that you've been waiting with bated breath for me to weigh in.
Why haven't I heard from this person?
On whatever. So this guy.
Oh, there they are.
This guy's, I know you've been waiting, and now you can all proceed because me, the Carmel City Councilman, has weighed in. But this guy, Adam Assen, is this guy's name, and I've known Adam, and I've always considered us cordial. I don't know, friendly, but I've known him for a long time, and I've got to read. Just listen to the beginning of this.
Okay.
I mean, the beginning of this is bad enough. You will hear the beginning of this and go, in this guy's mind, this entire city of Carmel and state of Indiana has been like, man, we can't act until Adam Osson gives us his take.
Where have you been? We've been lost without you.
And then you tell me the sense of entitlement that oozes from this guy as he is making this post. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Kev! Oh, he had one job. He had one job. He knew the whole break we're going to read this email or this Facebook correspondence. He had one job, which is to get the backing music together, and he couldn't do it in a timely fashion. There we go. I apologize for staying silent on this. I was watching it develop, but I got hit with influenza A. But I've been very troubled about what I'm seeing at the state level. Mayor Finkham has spoken quite well about the dangers of what is being proposed in the legislative session. Dangers. Namely, property tax cuts that have threatened public safety and quality of life. I'll share her words in my comments, but I wanted to chime in. As a state, Indiana has run a surplus every year due to strong economic forecasts. This logically leads to the conclusion that further tax cuts are needed, and I completely agree and support cutting taxes. But instead of targeting the surplus in state revenues, tax cuts proposals have included language that would hamper budgets for cities, schools, and libraries. Make no mistake, these cuts would have a dramatic effect on citizens. What's more concerning is I've been told that speaking out against these proposals can logically mean that state legislators would punish Carmel as a result. Wait, stop. Wait, we got to just pause this for a second.
Yeah.
So he has now, let's see, in this.
He has said that there is a surplus.
Yeah.
He's a fan of cuts.
Just not his.
Just not his.
He doesn't want to do the cutting.
Anywhere in the state, but here.
But his.
Where
yes.
I live.
Yes. He has also acknowledged that the Carmel was trying to tell people that there would be cuts to public safety.
The same place that just approved new contracts for their police and firefighters that will last until 2026.
Yes, but he's also acknowledging that Sue Finkham did say the thing that she tried to get on us for.
Backpedal up.
Right. Remember, she tried to. I never said that. He's saying she said it. Where else would that have come from?
Wow, he's been waiting for this to develop.
I mean, right here it says, proposed in the legislative session, namely property tax cuts that have threatened public safety and quality of life. He's saying it right there, the thing that she said she didn't say. Right? I mean, I'm not misinterpreting that. He's for tax cuts, just not him cutting the taxes. He's for other people doing the thing, just not him. All right. And now libraries are in danger, too.
Oh,
that's a new one.
We have to add that one to the list.
All right.
Okay.
Make no mistake. So he is saying that if you get any property tax relief, now Sue Bingham just said it wouldn't.
Right.
But he's saying it would have a dramatic effect on citizens.
Yeah.
Okay, Kev, music, please. What's more concerning is I've been told that... Oh, I already did that. I'm appalled by the idea that we can't disagree respectfully on legislation without fearing retribution. Wait, stop. What retribution is he talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
What person in the General Assembly has threatened Carmel? If anything, people like Scott Baldwin, who makes money off the city of Carmel, whose company makes money off the city of Carmel, have sided with the city of Carmel.
Is he thinking the retribution is that his name will be
broadcast? Know. I don't know what retribution.
Because he put it on the internet.
Yeah, that's right.
Which has just a far reach.
But I'm appalled by the idea we get a retribution on legislation respectfully on legislation without fearing. Who is threatening retribution? Who has threatened you or your family or anyone, Adam Osson? The answer is nobody. They're all siding with you. They're screwing us, and they're siding with you. All right, go. Thank you to Senator Baldwin and Representative Lopez for listening to our concerns with open minds and representing us well at the State House. Stop. So in this guy's world, Scott Baldwin, whose company makes money off the city of Carmel, and then he voted to screw taxpayers and side with the city of Carmel, that's listening with an open mind.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
All right, here we go. It's my hope we can do away with the threats and toxic rhetoric and calmly discuss the consequences of such legislative action. An open-minded conversation based on real facts.
Oh, okay.
So I read that. I mean, again, I don't know who's been threatened. I don't know who's fearing for their life or their safety or...
Rob, you're so close-minded.
So I just responded to that. I said, this is quite possibly the most stupid post I've ever seen in the history of Facebook. And his response to me...
Yeah.
There's the toxic rhetoric I was referring to.
That's it?
This radio show, I guess.
Okay.
I guess this radio show is the toxic rhetoric. Scott Baldwin, who makes money off the city of Carmel, voting to continue to pad the pockets of the city of Carmel at the expense of all of us.
That's okay.
That's cool, man. He's open-minded, baby. But if you say, hey, I don't think the local governments are spending our money wisely, and I think they're buying a bunch of stuff that isn't necessities, and I think that money would be better returned to the citizen of that. In this guy's mind, I'm toxic rhetoric.
So it seems that Adam is the president of the Carmel City Council.
Yeah. Well,
So that's
so my question to Adam was, and I followed this up in a we had a little back and forth. I said, now, are you guys as city councilors still required to firmly implant your lips on the mayor's ass cheeks like you were with Brainerd? Or is that just something you can do by choice now since Brainerd's not there anymore? Because I know under Brainerd, you couldn't speak out against Brainerd. You couldn't object to Brainerd, whether it was $58.5 million on a taxpayer-funded hotel or the Palladium or the reflexive pool or, all the fake people on the street. You couldn't say boo about Mayor Brainerd that was someone who would be fearing retribution, right? But I didn't know with Finkham if you had to do that or he was doing it. But can you believe that? That's a grown-ass man who wrote that, Casey.
Well, I believe that he wrote that because, was it yesterday? We were talking about how the Carmel City Council, which he is the president of.
Is he still the president?
Well, that's the website I'm looking at.
Is it his website?
Could be outdated. No, it's...
City of Carmel website.
Right.
Oh, well, you'd think they would have the ability to update their website in a timely fashion.
Right.
Well, with the $235 million budget.
Correct.
Carl, stop laughing at us. You are the problem. You live in Carmel.
Well, I'm trusting that it's up to date. Even if it's not, it's the fact that we mentioned yesterday that the Carmel City Council approved the contracts for the city's police officers and the firefighters. And those contracts included adjustments to wages and vacation days.
The adjustments, you mean raises.
Raises.
And more vacation days.
Right. Even though we were just told 10 days ago from Sue Finkham that they would not be able to afford to keep the safety of Carmel with these property tax cuts.
So Sue Finkham went
So which one is
well,
it?
These people talk out of their backsides. Like they can't even keep their story straight. So Sue Finkham goes in front of that committee, mayor of Carmel. Clearly, any person with an IQ of 7 knew she was doing a dog whistle, that there could be something wrong with public safety. We call her out on it. She goes out and goes, no.
With the $23 million
I didn't say that. The fearmonger,
budget.
the radio people, blah, 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 blah. And she didn't, of course, name us by name, but everybody knew why she was making the post. And then they do these contracts. After she says there's no cuts to public safety. But then this guy comes out in this post and says there could be something happening to public safety. They can't even keep the story straight.
Right.
They've told so many.
Where's the library? You mentioned that libraries are now on the list.
Yeah, it could hamper budgets for cities, schools, and libraries.
Okay, so we're going to add libraries to the list.
So now libraries are in trouble. There'll be no more books. You can add that to no more police, no more fire, no more schools, no teachers, no plows, no lights, no libraries.
Got it. Okay.
Look, here's the deal, Adam. Adam, we've tried to have a polite conversation We'll have it with you. We'll have it with Spending Sue. We'll have it with any person who represents the city of Carmel. We've tried to have that. The woman who you have your lips affixed to her ass cheek started this by going on social media and getting lippy because we commented on her public testimony. That's how all of this started. None of you have the guts to come in here and have this conversation with us because you know how it's going to end. You know what you're doing there is indefensible and you will get ripped to shreds. This is my point, Casey. We are not stopping. We are not stopping until property taxes get fixed at the State House. And they have to get fixed because people like Adam Ossen, who default to this doom and gloom, fear-mongering, saying ridiculous things that even the mayor admits. Even the mayor admits is not going to happen based on the fact that you have signed contracts with the police and firemen that give them raises. These are the people that are representing you. And you know what's crazy, Casey? I think the local people are worse than the people at the State House.
Well, it is interesting because in the same post, he says on one hand, the state has a surplus, and then on the other hand, he's in favor of cuts, but don't do it.
Yeah, not me. Everybody but me.
Everybody but me.
Everybody but me.
Yeah. You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
The currency of Washington. Politics.
They've got to stop playing politics.
Power.
He just wants power.
Posturing.
What a stupid question.
And I'm going to cut through the nonsense and let you know what is really happening in D.C. this week at CPAC 2025.
He'll talk to the newsmakers, power players, and maybe even find a little common sense.
Stranger things have happened.
Getting the answers that matter to you.
Because somebody's got to do it, and you have a life to live.
Tony Katz, live from D.C. today and tomorrow on 93 WIBC.
I'm Jeff Jr., founder and CEO of Trajan Wealth. I was born and raised in northern Wisconsin by both my father, who owned a small 10-lane bowling alley, and my mother, who was a nurse, who did her best caring for everyone in our small town. My parents stressed with me that if you were going to do anything, it needed to be done right or not done at all. I later joined the Marine Corps, where additional values were instilled. Values like honor, courage, and commitment. The motto of the Marine Corps, Semper Fi, which means always faithful. The best part of Trajan Wealth, our 100-plus employees who also embrace the exact same values. If your current financial advisor is more interested in selling you something or is more loyal to their own financial gain than yours, give us a call for a second opinion. We would be honored to hear from you. Call Trajan today. 317-480-4040. That's 317-480-4040.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
During tax season, your info travels lots of places you can't control.
W-2 arriving from payroll platform 3.
Everything criminals need to steal your identity is on your W-2.
Last call for accountant at home office, 1 minute.
LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points per second.
Tax preparation data centers with service to IRS. All aboard.
If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Go now to bwindow.com and receive $400 off per window and $250 off any patio or entry door, plus 2.99% financing.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
Kevin's killing it on the bumper music today.
Yeah, he is. He's being very thematic. Theme songs are so catchy. So, do you remember when Ketanji Brown Jackson was asked to define what a woman is?
She's the chick that's on the Supreme Court now?
Correct.
That's right.
During her confirmation hearing.
Who was picked, per Biden's words, because she's black and a woman.
Mhm.
That's the only reason he picked her.
But she wouldn't answer the question. She said, I'm not a biologist.
Right.
You remember that,
So she
right?
is black and a woman, just not a black woman biologist.
She can't define what a woman was.
Yeah.
That was the whole point.
I mean, it is pretty simple, right? Do you have a penis? If the answer is yes, then you are not a woman. If you do not have a penis, then you are a woman, right? I mean, we've really narrowed the field down there with that, right?
Well, we do have good news. The Department of Health and Human Services has updated their definitions of sex, and they say that there are only two sexes.
That's correct.
Male and female.
Uh-huh.
Are you ready for it?
Yes.
Sex, which is a person's immutable biological classification as either male or female. They define female as a person of the sex characterized by a reproductive system with the biological function of producing eggs.
That's a woman.
Correct.
You have a vagina.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A male is a person of the sex characterized by a reproductive system with the biological function of producing sperm.
It's a penis.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they say a woman is an adult human female. A girl is a minor human female. A man is an adult human male. A boy is a minor human male. A mother is a female parent, and a father is a male parent.
Okay, so now that we have sanity back controlling the country, we can agree that this whole trans push, it's very similar. Remember, like, this was probably 10 or 12 years ago. Remember all the people who were coming out as gay, and that, like, that became society's new thing. If you were gay, you were brave and you were strong, and they would celebrate you. And remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
And I had the theory back then. It's like, there's no way that all these people just discovered that they were gay. Like, a lot of it is society manipulates people into wanting to be or thinking things based on adulation or attention. I don't dispute that there's many, many people that are gay, and if that's you, then that's fine. But I never believed that just instantaneously, as we started seeing the news and everybody else celebrate this, that all of a sudden these people, oh my gosh, I'm gay. No, I did never believe that. I think the same thing with the trans movement. There's no way all these people just discovered over the past 5 years or just became transsexual.
They were convinced into it.
Society manipulates, especially young people, or in the case of the trans people. Look, it's a disorder. There's a reason it's gender dysphoria. There's a reason it's labeled as a disorder, right? The same way as I have obsessive compulsive disorder. I don't expect people to go, we should celebrate Rob because he checks the garage door 4 times before he leaves.
Do you need a flag? Do you need a day? Do you want a parade?
Like I've never asked because Rob sometimes will make sure that the gas is turned off 3 times or whatever. Like people go, that's quirky and not normal, and you know, thankfully I've been able to get it so I can relatively cope with it and live a pretty normal existence. But I don't expect people to celebrate me or say it's normal the same way as wanting to be a man and wanting to be a woman, or being a woman and wanting to be a man, or pretending that you can be that. That is not normal.
Well, no kidding. So much of it is outside influence from other people.
Right, exactly. And a bunch of people just over the past 5 to 7 years didn't just wake up and go, you know what, that's me. No, people were told who crave attention that you will get some sort of, celebrity status or adulation or put up on the shoulders of others if you pretend to be this thing. And it is just utterly ridiculous what we've done in this country. And as Elon Musk has talked about, because he has a kid who he let participate in this, you're doing irreversible harm to human beings. And the fact that if you're an adult and you want to play that game, then whatever. You can chop or grow whatever you want to chop and grow. I'm not celebrating it. I'm not saying it's normal. I'm not giving you a round of applause. My money shouldn't go to pay for it. But we should never, ever allow children to participate in this.
Yeah, psychological warfare, especially over people that are so easily influenced.
And there are these parents, like I say this as a parent of a 19-month-old, who think that little babies
Did you see the video of that woman who was like, my son thinks he's a girl?
No, your son at that age doesn't even know what his name is. I mean, like what the idea that these kids, think about how often even somebody who's 12 or 13 or 14, how often they change their mind about who they want to date or who their friends are, who the cool kids are, or what you want to be. The difference between saying, I don't want to be a barber anymore, I want to be a pilot, is no one's harmed. If you're 12 or 13 and you decide, I'm a boy and I want to be a girl, you've done irreversible damage to yourself, and you could never get your life back to the way it was. It is insane that we allow kids to think that they can make this choice.
So we have to talk about another woman because now I feel like there is a contest going. We had mentioned Bonnie Blue the other day.
She's the woman who had
the what she had the
she was
the engagements.
Am I allowed? I don't know if I can say that. She was. It's not worth it. There's certain things that are worth going down for. It's not it.
Bonnie Blue's not worth it.
Nah, but it was funny, and I think you would laugh, and I think Kev would laugh, and I think I'd be okay, but it's just...
She's the one who had relations with over 1,000 men in a day.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And then there was Lily Phillips, who was the woman who had relations with 100 men in a day, right? And we talked about yesterday how Bonnie Blue came out, and it's alleging that she's pregnant.
But she never said she's pregnant. Because
Right.
she's not pregnant.
She never outright admitted she was pregnant. She just said, my baby will never be bullied because he has 1,000 fathers.
Right.
Never.
No, your baby, if you had to have one father,
Mhm.
but you don't have any fathers for your baby because you don't have a baby, you're not pregnant.
Within 24 hours, Lily Phillips, the one who was with the 100 men,
Mm-hmm.
now she's pregnant as well.
Did she say she was pregnant?
She has been showing pictures of her with a baby bump. Now, whether that baby bump is real or not, we don't know.
Have we
It
seen
could
the
be a
belly, or is she
prosthetic.
wearing clothes?
She's wearing clothes.
Then she is not pregnant either. Because clearly that woman has no problem taking her clothes off.
So what is this contest between these two women? Is it Lily Phillips saying, oh, Bonnie Blue got attention for saying maybe she's pregnant, so now I have to do that as well?
Casey.
Same argument. Who's the father? Fake publicity stunts?
Casey, let's play this out for a second. Let me tell you what's transpiring here, okay?
Please.
If you were walking down the street and you city street somewhere, and you saw a manhole cover that had been removed, and you just happened as you were walking by to look down that manhole cover into the city sewer, and you saw two very disgusting sea urchins pointing at each other and shouting, would you, stick your head down there to see what else they had to say, or would you be like, that's gross, let me put the manhole cover back on and just go about my day?
I might throw them a ladder, help them to find their way out of the...
This is what you have. It's two disgusting human beings with zero moral character or fiber whatsoever who crave attention, and they're just pathetic, rotten human beings.
They're now reporting that maybe Lily Phillips was pregnant while she was engaging in the acts with the 100 men.
Look, we're done. Okay, Case.
We're moving on?
We're done talking about these two sea urchins.
Got it.
And we have just...
Final update.
Yeah, thank you. We're done. Unless one of them decides they're running for public office at some point, I think we're done here.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What happens once all of this is done? I'm John Herrick. Here's what's trending at 11:30. Relief from the snow and bitterly cold temperatures in Indiana is coming. Andrew White is a meteorologist with the National Weather Service. He believes after today, the state will be done with snow for a little bit.
Yeah, at this point, it looks like this may be it until at least early March.
Along with that, he expects temperatures to be in the 50s at times next week, but much of the state is under a winter weather advisory until 7 tonight. Everybody injured during a plane crash at a Canadian airport has now been released from a hospital. 21 people were injured earlier this week when a Delta Airlines flight flipped over at Toronto Pearson International Airport. And the United States and Canada will meet tonight in the final of the NHL's four-nation face-off in Boston. I'm John Herrick, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hello, friends. It's Rob for Life Church. And, man, they got a big event coming up Friday and Saturday. It's their marriage conference at the Noblesville campus. And we've been saying, man, now would be a great time to put a little pep back in my marriage, my relationship. This would be your opportunity. February 21st, 22nd, Friday and Saturday at their Noblesville campus. And Life Church, man, they have so many WIBC listeners who have found a home there over the years. We love meeting them on Sundays, and you can too. They got 4 campuses all across central Indiana: Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. Great online services, and you can learn more about the marriage conference, the campuses, the online services, and everything else at lifechurchin.com. Hey guys, it's Rob. Spring is right around the corner, and recently I was looking at my lawn saying, man, I need to get some work done. I love my lawn. I love cutting the grass, love being out in it. But quite frankly, I think this year it needs more help than I'm capable of taking care of. So I called my friends at Save a Tree. And in the coming weeks, Save a Tree, the tree, shrub, and lawn experts, are coming to my house, and they're going to set up a plan to totally revamp my lawn, my entire yard, and bring it back to life. The Save a Tree experts coming to my house, and they can come to yours and give the trees, shrubs, and lawn a full checkup and even answer all of your questions. Can't wait to enjoy my lawn all summer long thanks to Save a Tree. See how beautiful your yard can be. Set up your own evaluation at saveatree.com. That's SAVATREE.com. Or dial pound 250 on your smart device and say the keyword Save a Tree. SAVATREE.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory on West Minnesota Street. The best dealers in the region, hundreds of tables, just $6 for adults, kids 12 and under free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade this Saturday 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Stoutfield National Guard Armory. For more info, visit centralindianagunshows.com.
Big Joe here for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical.
With a B&W Premier Club membership, you'll stay ahead of breakdowns and costly repairs. Our members get routine maintenance, priority scheduling, and exclusive discounts, saving you money and keeping your family comfortable all season long. Visit bplusw.com or call 317-214-0108 for more information.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard dealer since 1961.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Discussing end-of-life matters can be uncomfortable, but it's also necessary to ensure that loved ones' wishes are well known ahead of time. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. Up next, I'll share suggestions to help ease anxiety surrounding the talk.
Cardon & Associates offers the finest senior living options tailored to your loved one's needs. Reservations are now being accepted for new apartments at Copper Trace in Westfield. Visit cardon.com.
Direct, open, and honest conversation is the best way to discuss end-of-life wishes. Knowing your loved one's preferred treatments and desired arrangements will ready everyone for when the time comes. Also helpful, creating a will or trust to ensure assets are distributed accordingly. And consider an end-of-life doula to assist your family during the process. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access the library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
A little while ago, Donald Trump tweeted out to the hockey team. He said, "I'll be calling our great American hockey team this morning to spur them on towards victory tonight against Canada with far lower taxes and much stronger security." He said someday, maybe soon, they'll become a part of our country, our 51st state. And he went on to say that he's going to be speaking with the governors tonight in D.C. and sadly, therefore, unable to attend, but he will be watching. And he invited Governor Trudeau to join us. He would be most welcome. He said, "Good luck to everybody. Have a great game tonight. So exciting."
I would
Donald J.
imagine,
Trump.
because now there's a bunch of talk about whether Trump's going to go in the Indy 500.
Yeah.
And
well, you know, Indy 500 last year during the election season, they were like, no politics. They were having cars remove stuff.
Yeah.
Drivers remove stuff from their cars.
But the president isn't politics. I mean, obviously the president's a very political figure, but the sitting president, especially in a non-election year.
Mm-hmm.
But I would think whether it's this hockey event or Daytona or whatever, I mean, look, you get a lot of publicity out of it, but it's a logistical nightmare to have the president come to anything.
Sure.
Especially when it's one thing if you're planning an event for the president, but an actual event that is already attracting, in this case, tens of thousands of people.
Right.
And now you got to, stop everything so this guy could fly in and go there. And, and you think about the Indy 500. My wife and I were talking about this the other day. I'm not sure logistically how you could do Trump at the Indy 500, given the fact that people can bring their own coolers and stuff in.
They'd have to change the rules.
And that's such a staple of the 500. And I'm not sure Trump would want to disrupt that if he knew. That's such a one of the charms of the 500 is, hey, you bring your own beer. You can kind of save a few bucks at the gate, by bringing your own stuff in. And so I'm not sure logistically how you would even. Plus, it's so hard to get in and out.
Right. Having everybody go through security, and you can take your cooler through security.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that would even happen.
Clear coolers only.
But I was thinking, if you're the hockey people in Boston tonight, you're probably pretty relieved. Oh, good. I'm glad he didn't want to come because just logistically, it's a nightmare.
But that would be amazing, though, to see him ride around the track like he did at Daytona in the Beast.
It would be very cool. And
the pace cars.
I'm sure if he was insistent upon doing it, they would find out a way to make that happen. I just don't know with all the security threats that he is subject to, how you would safely be able to ensure in a place where part of the charm is everybody bring their own cooler in. I don't know.
So speaking of governors, he said he's going to be talking with all the governors tonight. There have been a few gubernatorial races that have caught my eye. One being in California, the Riverside County Sheriff, his name is Chad Bianco.
I know Chad. Well, I don't know him. Chad Bianco. So here's the Chad Bianco story.
Yeah.
Chad Bianco was in the early days of To Catch a Predator. They did with the Chris Hansen show, friend of the show, Chris Hansen.
Yeah.
They did an investigation in Riverside, California. Chad Bianco was the detective that kind of led that investigation. He was all over Dateline, and now he is the sheriff of Riverside, California.
He announced that he's running for governor in California to replace Gavin Newsom, possibly go up against Kamala Harris.
Now, he's a big Republican, so I'm sure he'd be running as a Republican, right?
Sure.
Yeah, very good.
The other one is that Vivek Ramaswamy filed to run for governor in the great state of Ohio.
Okay. That's your home, where you're from.
You kind of saw that was going. Well, he's from there as well, so that makes sense.
We had on Ramaswamy. Do we like him? He kind of seems like a...
Some people call him Rama Smarmy.
Well, Kevin and I talked about this. There was always that one guy in high school who'd be selling things out of the trunk of his car as you'd leave the parking lot. And you knew, well, some of it might be legit.
You questioned some of it?
Much of it might have been fleeced. He always struck me as that sort of dude. Very impressive. Certainly an entrepreneur. But is the merchandise he's selling you, is it legit or is it fleeced?
Well, I'm wondering what they'll do with the current lieutenant governor thing that's going on in Ohio. No, Mad Duck. Chris Hansen was not later exposed as a perv. He asked that in the YouTube chat. Chris Hansen had a little problem bouncing. I think he was bouncing checks was his problem. He had an endeavor that didn't work out well, but he was not exposed as being a perv. And what about Jim Trussell in Ohio? So that was the former Ohio State football coach. Right, who's now the 67th lieutenant governor of Ohio. He won the national championship. And then he kind of was out of coaching. And then when the lieutenant governor became, how'd that work? The lieutenant governor became a senator. Got picked to be a senator for Vance. They made Trussell the lieutenant governor. And now there's rumors in Florida that Casey DeSantis is the most favored among potential GOP candidates to be the governor of Florida. Jeez, don't these people have Ron's time is up, he's going to pick his wife. What are we doing next? Oh, we have to talk about how you're decorating your house these days. Oh, thank you. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show will go off the rails with Rob Kendall. Ask the Gun Guy with Guy Relford filling in for Hammer. And all the top stories a little after 3, 93 WIBC.
After hosting family and friends for the holidays, you may have noticed something about your home you hadn't seen before. Gaps between the walls and floors, cracks in the foundation, or uneven sagging floors. It's easy to overlook these issues when you're busy preparing for guests, but now is the time to address them before they worsen. These could be signs of foundation problems that need immediate attention. Ignoring these issues now could lead to irreversible damage, ultimately lowering your home's value. Indiana Foundation Service knows how important it is to preserve the value of your home. Their experts are here to help. With a free inspection from IndianaFoundation.com, they'll identify the source of the problem and give you a no-obligation quote for repairs. Don't wait. Visit IndianaFoundation.com today to book your free inspection and protect your home's value. Indiana Foundation Service, your trusted local foundation experts.
Indiana Foundation Service, reliability from the ground up.
Life insurance is one of those things that just about everybody needs, but few people actually have. Hey, if you die unexpectedly without life insurance, guess what? You'll leave your family with even a bigger mess. Life insurance will help replace your family's income. It'll help cover burial expenses. Life insurance can even help pay off debt like credit cards and medical bills. Life insurance can even pay for college. And if you own a business and you die, life insurance can help your business from collapsing. It can even help cover estate taxes. Life insurance has never been more affordable and needed. Plus, you can always shop around even if you have a plan and save some money. So call the Life Insurance Quote Line right now for free pricing information.
800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. 800-917-8730. That's 800-917-8730.
Let's talk about getting back to your best. Lack energy, muscle mass, feel moody, or have low libido? It could be signs of low testosterone. Know your T levels. Get tested. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, may be the answer. The true experts are at Low T Center, and everyone's different. Don't settle for a standard dosage TRT program.
Get personalized treatment at Low T Center. For current patients, Low T Center offers a $150 referral credit when you refer a new patient. LowTCenter.com. Book that appointment today. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey folks, Scott Wilson here from Wilson Farm Market. Even in winter, we're bringing you the best in farm fresh flavors. Stop in for our fresh salad bar, hot and crispy wing bar, and a cheese selection that is second to none. Got a sweet tooth? Our homemade pies, creamy fudge, and old-fashioned candy will hit the spot. Come see us on US 31 just north of Carmel. We're open every day 9 to 6. At Wilson Farm Market, we're all about fresh, local, and delicious. See you soon.
Community Health Network cares for your heart health. From heart scans and vascular screenings to complex heart procedures, you can count on our expert team for the highest quality cardiovascular care, when and where you need it. Your path to a healthy heart starts with knowing your risk. Schedule a heart scan or vascular screening today. Visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go: shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms: irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
The financial advisor industry is a flawed system. Find out how to fight back and protect your retirement on Expedition Retirement. Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Rob, I know you've lately done some redecorating around your house. When you had Bruce the Bulldog, he had his own little space.
Yeah.
And I saw pictures recently where that has now turned into Olivia's playroom.
That's right. So, Bruce had his own room, and it was a very large room, probably the biggest room in the house.
Of course. Well, he was a big dog.
Well, he was the most important person until, other people rolled into the house. And yeah, he had his own room, and that way he could look out the window and see everything going on in the street, and then we could go in there and play with him. Bulldogs are very messy. They destroy everything they come in contact with. So everywhere I've ever lived, I've always told Bruce, you may have this room. You can pretty much do with it as you see fit, but you're not destroying any other part of the house that I live in. And that way when you move or whatever,
it's just one room you got to take care of.
That's it. That's it. You pick it up. And then, so yes, when he passed away, because it's such a big room, we decided to turn that room into Olivia's playroom where she does all her learning and her physical activities now. And then that very fabulous picture that Crystal Hammer had made for me, the painting of Bruce, now we've hung it up over where his cage was so he can look down on Olivia now.
Yeah, while she's playing.
Yeah.
Now, I imagine that's not the first decorating change you've ever made in your life, because you had mentioned in previous places where you've lived, Bruce always got a room.
That's right.
And you've probably, since you've been married and now had a child, you've probably changed the way you live in the entire house.
I have nothing.
You have nothing.
There's nothing left for me. I have a closet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I used to have an office.
Yeah.
I used to have a nice place where I could do all my work. I mean, I still kind of have something that vaguely resembles an office, but I have a dresser.
Mm-hmm.
I have a closet, and I have a little stand to put my
your nightstand,
like a little stand to put some broadcasting stuff on, and that's about it.
But the rest of the house is Gabrielle's job to take care of, to
Olivia's.
decorate.
Yeah, no, nothing is mine. I own nothing. No.
Okay, so a recent survey came out, and they found the things that are a real turnoff for women about how men decorate.
Oh.
So I think you need to think back to your single days to see if any of these ring true for you.
And now, I've never been, in fairness, other than my office. I've always had an office wherever I've lived. I've never been a put anything on the wall sort of person.
Really?
Yeah, it just seems like a lot of effort.
So you've never had anything hanging on the wall?
No, very rarely. Very, very, very rarely have I ever had anything hanging up on the wall.
It's just too distracting.
It's just a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so 43% of women say they won't date someone who doesn't have a bed frame. Do you have a bed frame? Did you have a bed frame?
Oh, no.
Really?
No.
You were mattress on the floor guy?
No, I'm sorry, frame. I was thinking a headboard. Yeah, no, I had a frame.
Mm-hmm.
Although for a while, when I first got out of college, I was mattress on the floor guy. But then once I kind of became an adult, I'm sorry, I was thinking it was a headboard. But yes, I have a bed frame.
Okay, so was it a twin bed? Was it a big bed? What kind of bed was it?
Have I ever told you the story about the guy who delivered the mattress?
No.
Have I ever told the story? Okay.
No. I asked because when the dude and I first started dating, he had a twin bed on the floor.
Yeah, so I had
He's moved up since then.
I had a twin bed for years. And then, look, I don't mean to get in too much intricate detail.
Sure.
But the interpersonal relations, that's kind of a challenge.
On
right?
a twin bed?
On a twin bed,
yeah.
right? I mean, so.
You got to be close.
Decided in my, 20s, I said I got to get like an adult bed. And so I went, this place still exists. It's in Avon. I went to this mattress place. Guy is in there by himself. He's like something straight out of like the Beverly Hillbillies. And so I'm talking to him about a mattress, and clearly I'm just trying to get, something cheap but passable, so I no longer have a twin bed to show members of the opposite sex when they come over. And so find this mattress, fine, whatever. So I said, okay, I got to get it delivered. How much is it to deliver? And he goes, I'll just deliver it for you for like $20. And I said, okay, that's great. I'm thinking like when he gets off work, he's like, I got a truck in the back.
Yeah.
I'll just bring it by when I get off, I'm thinking when he's saying when I get off work. Okay, cool. So he then proceeds, Casey, and I will never forget this if I live to be 100 years old.
Yeah.
He proceeds to lock the doors of the store.
Okay.
Shuts the lights out. And leaves the store and goes to an alley behind the store, takes this truck, takes the mattress, bolts it down.
Yeah.
And then just starts going to my place where I live.
Following you right there.
He's pocketing the money. I'm now realizing this is not like the store will charge you $20.
Yeah.
He's making the $20.
Yeah.
He's shutting the store down. The mattress then on Rockville Road falls off the truck.
Oh, no.
I have to get out on Rockville Road and help him reassemble the mattress to the truck. He does, in fairness, get the truck to the house, does bring the mattress in, does install it. Now, I had told him when he said I'll deliver for $20, I said, look, I don't have any cash on me. I have to bring it to you tomorrow.
Sure.
He goes, oh, sure, that's no problem. I then go back in the next day.
He's not there.
Ask for, hey, is Floyd or whatever his name was, is he here? No, he no longer works here.
Oh! Did you find out why?
Oh, well, I'm
Like, what
assuming
happened?
it's because
Do
Floyd
they
was
have
doing
cameras?
some scheming and scamming with the delivering of the mattresses.
Dipping into the till.
And shutting the store down as the worker. Probably someone...
Right. Little red flag.
So I just kept the $20.
Of course. Well, good for you. Did they have to take away the old mattress? How'd you get rid of that?
He took it, yes.
Oh, he did?
Yes, Floyd took it, yes. So I don't know what Floyd did with that, but whatever he did, that was his last day working there.
His last act at the mattress store. Okay, so, well, there's a big portion of women who think that it's icky if you don't have a bed frame. Another big turnoff for women when they're dating men is a smelly apartment. Make sure that you have that clean.
Yep.
Dirty dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
And a big one, facial hair in the bathroom. This is
Okay.
like after you shave, you need to make sure you clean out the sink.
Yep.
Dead plants is another no-no.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And finally, you have to have a well-stocked bookshelf.
Bookshelf? Who
Like
reads
if you
books
have
anymore?
if you have a bookshelf, make sure you put at least one book on there.
What year is this? 1985? I mean, who reads books anymore?
Well, this is what women want to see when they enter your home.
All of my books on my bookshelf are Bruce Springsteen books.
Are they?
I have just like a row.
You do have a Rush Limbaugh book. Well,
that's right.
Unless you gave it away.
No. Well, my old man read it and he said it was fabulous. You know how I am. And then Casey, you were surprised by this. I tell people all the time, I don't read books. I read lots of articles.
Right.
But I have horrible attention span.
Yeah.
So my limitation is like 3 to 5 minutes. I read all day, like 3 to 5 minute
Articles.
things. Yeah. We joke about how I don't prepare. I do prepare. I just don't read in-depth things. I read 3 to 5 minutes at a time all day. But I just books are not my thing.
Well, they say reading books does help your vocabulary.
Well, but I would think online articles on the internet would as
do
well.
the same thing.
Yeah, but I have just a row. That is so I do have books. They're all the same guy.
All biographies about Bruce Springsteen. No surprise there. I don't know if that counts, if that's a turn on or if that's an ick. Like, okay, this guy has books. They're all about the same topic.
Well, luckily, Casey, I'm very happily married, so I'm not trying to turn anyone on other than my wife anymore.
This is true.
And she knew what she was
She's
getting
good
into.
with it. Well, you gave her the whole place to decorate, so she's got nothing to argue about. Maybe these are tips for Kevin. And speaking of Kevin, it's time to thank him. Thank you, Rob, and thank you for listening today. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.